heard you guys ribbing last time.
Citizens of the Reject Nation, if we are live, you know what to do. Leave a like.
Leave a like.
That's what you got to do to let us know we are live here right now.
Like for live. Like for live.
Like for the live.
Leave a like for live.
It's been a while since John and I were doing this. I'm going to get this out of the way right now.
Go.
I need to take a crap. No.
I'll hold the stream down while you go.
No, John.
Answer the call. Ghostbusters 2016.
Hold on. Yeah, I wanted to mention that people might be going, where's Coy? Where's Coy Jandreau? Well, Coy, I would like him to take over this segment one day for just MCU and DCU. That's the goal. However, it's just funny because it's the weekend where we're getting a Secret Invasion trailer, and the next day we're getting a Spider-Verse trailer, and then we're getting a Blue Beetle trailer that same day. We're getting 3 comic book movie trailers, and there's a bunch of movie news, and Coy's out of town.
I know. It's like the prime weekend, and he's just away doing panels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's away doing panels and making comedy. He's hosting some major panels.
Some mega panels.
So, yeah, man, some MegaCon panels. Maybe he's bumping into 3C Films over there. So, yeah, he's not here with us today. So, John, you got to be you got to be Coy. You got to have the knowledge.
Okay, Reject Nation.
Okay, Reject. My veins are popping out of my forehead.
I just drank like 10 G Fuels, and I just did like 4, upper body workouts before coming here. I'm ready to talk comics.
So, yeah, all right. We got a good amount of people in the chat. We got 267 viewers right now. Yeah, Maria Hammond gave me this thing. But we got a few things to talk about that we know we want to talk about. But as per usual, we will eventually get to just opening up the chat, the Q&A, because there's always so much more that we didn't even consider talking about that's going to be guided by you folks in the chat, the Reject Nation out there. This is one of our best ways to connect with the community.
To engage.
Engage with your audience.
That's right.
This is how you do this. So, quick shout outs to Greg, Elijah, Ashley M. And I see we do have a super chat here from Povenmeyer. I want to say also really quick, thank you to everyone who super chatted us last live stream and also contributed to our Streamlabs. We got so much last time. It kept us live for much longer than we had planned to. And you know what? We love when a situation like that occurs. So thank you guys so much. Your support means a lot. John, you decide today, since you are the new Coy.
Good.
What is the first thing that we should discuss? While I rearrange this.
Should we take this first super chat as it is part of the headline of news that has been compiled for this very live stream? I feel like it's a perfect kickoff.
All right, sure. Let's read that first super chat.
Hit up Povenmeyer.
Povenmeyer. Thanks, Povenmeyer.
Yeah.
What does he say, John, while I rearrange life here?
Povenmeyer says, Doug Jones for Clayface, but it's not like the comics. Elaborate disguises instead of the more sci-fi version. That would be an Doug Jones for any kind of creature or just like heavy prosthetic or effects laden character is always like a great choice. I'm curious about the idea. I don't know. See, that's the thing is I feel like you have to have some kind of body horror-ish element or some kind of like physical.
John, we got to start. We got to rewind.
All right, so
first
Batman
you got to
2.
explain what's going on. You don't just start talking.
You're the structure
What kind
guy.
of Coy are you?
I am the color commentary, and you are the main commentator. That's why you throw to yourself first. Okay, so Batman 2, there's been heavy speculation, rumors, and whatnot that Clayface will be a prominent figure in the upcoming sequel to Matt Reeves' The Batman. And thus, Povenmeyer is now speculating as to who could play said Clayface in this movie.
True that, son.
And yeah, I think Doug Jones, again, as I said a moment ago, would be a terrific choice. I am curious as to what the chat would think of a disguise master rather than a person who's, whole face and body are, like malleable like clay.
Yeah.
I feel like there is something that you could do in the tradition of various film noir, and I think Sin City has already capitalized this on the sort of like, I changed my face to start a new life but even more. Like, I feel like there's still some room for fantasy in Matt Reeves' world, even though it is much more real and grounded. So I feel like they could come up with something gross and unsettling for Clayface. But I feel like costuming, like just disguises, might be a little too simplified almost.
Yeah, yeah. So Clayface, did you go through? I was making some notes here.
Yes,
I was half paying attention to
It's all
yours.
good. It's all
I
good.
want to go back and make like basic chapters for this live stream for
Yep.
the playback. So leave a like. That helps with the playback. Did you go over like a little bit of who Clayface is?
No, why don't you know
Yeah.
that you have a much more comprehensive.
I mean, the basic version of Clayface. Well, there's two versions. One I didn't actually know about until yesterday, which was the original version of Clayface. I thought it was always what I grew up with via comics, via Batman the Animated Series, via the Arkham games. I always thought it was actor, and it was a play on the fact that scientific shit happens, and then Clayface can mold. So he was, but in the original version of Clayface, like the very OG version, he was an actor who did not get to reprise a role for a remake that was being made of his film. And so he became Clayface the villain, which was just like a bad guy, just a normal bad guy.
Sure.
Now there's this like metamorphosis quality to him where he can literally full on imitate people. And I think, it would be interesting to get two Clayfaces because we have the rumor that Mike Flanagan didn't exactly debunk this. It seemed that he was kind of putting it out there. Mike Flanagan, who made Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, and Midnight Mass. Have you seen that yet? No. You son of a bitch.
Reaction.
He made Midnight Mass, one of my favorite writer-directors working today, and supposedly he pitched like a Clayface movie. And I think he could do that tragic, fantastical quality very well. Then you could also see Clayface working within the main chapter 1 of Gods and Monsters, where it is like something in the Batman Brave and the Bold universe that does go that far. It doesn't excite me at the prospect of of Clayface just being like a regular thief. It doesn't excite me as being just a regular bad guy or a mask. Like, I liked what they did with Riddler, but it still felt enough like Riddler with the riddling happening in the film.
Yeah.
With Clayface, I think it's just such a trademark quality of him now that, I don't know, you might as well just make him like Chameleon, which is a Spider-Man villain. You might as well just make him Chameleon instead of just getting a chance to be Clayface, I
feel like you could probably blend the two takes, the two origins for the character together in some sense. You can make, some kind of spiraling out from, the actor into something greater and something more crime-oriented.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I would love Chris Pratt to play Clayface.
That's the guy. He is like a real-life Clayface. He's just always morphing and changing and coming up with characters that you would never recognize him in.
Yes.
That's not Chris Pratt over there.
I want to make sure we get to our titles. But yeah, I imagine there'll be multiple villains in the Batman Part 2, Probably Penguin returning.
Joker. Somewhere in there.
And this is April 1st. I forgot this was April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. So I'm not going to lie. I had a panic attack once I saw there was a bunch of news that came out on Twitter today, only to be like, wait a minute. This is bullshit. And I forget that like mainstream outlets like Hollywood Reporter participate.
Yeah. That was like a panic on the ride, or like just checking stuff.
Scott Derrickson's making Doctor Strange 3.
Everything I've been prepared for is now just like completely out the window. Do I have to adjust for all this stuff? Oh boy.
Yeah. Hey Yeti X, what about patrons? What's going on, buddy? What about super sexy rejects?
The sexy.
Thank you guys. I know we got some more super chats. We'll get to them in just a little bit. I want to make sure that we're getting to. I like your picks for Clayface in the chat. Who would you have play Clayface? Kevin James is a fantastic pick.
Tom Holland cast him twice.
Actually, Jim Carrey wouldn't be a bad pick.
Jim Carrey would be a great pick for. He's already Clayface.
But I think Matt Reeves, though, if he does go with him, he does an excellent job at going against who you normally expect to play any of these characters 90% of the time, except for Zoe Kravitz and whatchamacallit. What's his name? My God, Jeffrey Wright.
Yes,
Jeffrey Wright
Commissioner.
That's right on the money.
Gordon.
Thank you to everyone who left a like. It means a lot.
Sergeant.
Let's talk about the Spider-Man news because that's one of our headlines for today.
Oh yeah.
So Spider-Man 4 plot details. going off memory, no notes. Going off, John. I'm gonna need some.
I got you. Don't worry.
Need some assist here.
I got you. I'm here. I'm
So
ready.
the Spider-Man 4 plot details are, or the main. There's been some reliable sources, like sources that have been proven that hey, they've been right kind of a lot of the time, and nothing too spoiler heavy here. But you know what?
Setups.
Yeah, some setups, and this is all rumors. None of this is confirmed. I could see it being plausible though, and you might have already heard, and I did want to touch on this. So, it all starts with Kingpin. Funny enough.
Yes. All roads lead to Kingpin.
So Kingpin, as we know, is going to be returning in the Echo series after dying and being resurrected by the Lazarus Pit. He's returning in the Echo series, and of course, he's going to be in Daredevil: Born Again, and supposedly he will be one of the main bad guys for Spider-Man 4. So it's supposed to be following a certain kind of comic run where Kingpin, once elected for mayor, what he fights for is to have vigilantes, like the street vigilantes, Daredevil, Punisher,
The rest of the
Hawkeye,
Defenders.
everyone who's had a television show, basically.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man, who after the events of No Way Home would just be more of a street-level hero again, a protector, a neighborhood-friendly Spider-Man to outlaw vigilantes in New York, which is actually a concept that I'm surprised it hasn't been brought up in the MCU yet.
We haven't had a very street level MCU to speak of thus far, at least on the big screen. I don't feel like in the TV shows more so.
What I mean by that is the conversation of, isn't this a crime? Being a vigilante, isn't this a crime?
Sure.
What they're doing. Of course, Kingpin isn't doing this to protect the people of New York City. He has his own best interest at heart. It's something that is more corrupt. So the theory goes that with the outlawing of vigilantes, he would, of course, like if you've played the first Spider-Man PS4 game, that's kind of a good way to gauge sort of where I'm imagining they can go with this, just not with that many villains in there. However, it probably hires a villain or two, maybe Scorpion, so that way he can be the one to go after and take down Spider-Man. I imagine J. Jonah Jameson would be folded back into the mix and be even more prevalent, who is going, yes, this is illegal, this is criminal, what these heroes are doing. They're not government sanctioned. That's why we have Sokovia Accords in place. I think as much as there's been focus on what does the multiverse mean for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and as much hype as there's been for like Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars, I'm weirdly more interested in this because this feels more intimate. This feels darker because it's posing I think that's why the conversation surrounding Captain America: Civil War was so fascinating. And I feel like with Spider-Man and these other heroes like Daredevil, especially Daredevil, who has like a law background, I think it'd just be way more intriguing to deal with. Is this actually like criminal activity, and what are they fighting for? And they're also being shunned by half of the public. Like you can get a little political, as much as people say like that shouldn't be in our movies. It's in the comics. You can get a little political about it and make something that's truly pulsating and on the run. And I think even something like Captain America: New World Order would be dealing with that just on a bigger scale too. Kind of this reoccurring theme and conversation going throughout Marvel Phase 5 and 6. And then you got like a multiverse thing going on at the same time. Yeah. And I think having that for the street level is more intriguing in my opinion. But what do you guys think? John, what do you think of Kingpin being this villain?
Yeah. No, I think, that's very exciting because, having Vincent D'Onofrio back has been an odd prospect because everyone's obviously excited about his portrayal. Everybody loves his take on the character. He loves playing the character. But, we're still, I think, waiting for that satisfying return, and we're also waiting on the big screen live action to see Spider-Man take on Kingpin, who has, been a prolific Spider-Man villain over the course of time. And I think right now is a point where I think the MCU could maybe benefit from a little contrast because we are going so big and cosmic and multiversal, and I'm here for that stuff. I really like the fantastical and the strange. However, I think it is beneficial to them to have a contrast with the more street-level stuff and to have those kinds of conversations, too. It's like they had some interesting stuff going on, especially with everything that transpired leading into Civil War and the debate about, heroes that led to the Sokovia Accords and all that stuff. I think, you can easily imagine a world in which J. Jonah Jameson is like helping campaign for Kingpin and, and using all those resources to throw at Spider-Man along with, the other physical stakes that he'll have to face. And so, yeah, that seems like something that would be, I think they said there's like a contract issue where like Spider-Man has to appear. Spider-Man has to bring, an MCU buddy, another prolific character along. It can't just be only solely Spider-Man at the center of the movie for some reason. But I like the idea of that being Kingpin because that does suggest a more physical challenge and something that is going to be, even though Kingpin is a fantastical character, he's just a man with his fists and his force. So I think it'll be really fun and interesting to see Spider-Man take that on. And, he's such a colorful character in Vincent D'Onofrio's hands that I just can't wait to see them quip back and forth together, and really find that sort of adversarial friction.
I would love that. I
Yeah.
love where your head's at, John.
Plus, the opportunity to get a Daredevil team up is just too good to pass up. And if Kingpin is in Spider-Man's path, then Daredevil's going to come into the picture, and that's like the coolest idea. Like that's something that I think could unequivocally get people hyped, no matter what reservations you have about Phase 4 and 5 and 6.
Well, I was hearing, I don't know, this came out, I saw this on Comic Book Cast. I'm just making a little chapter note. Spider-Man bought by Disney. So apparently, I don't know how true this is, because I've been seeing some people in the chat bringing some things up about Spider-Man buying Disney, but the chat was moving a little bit quick here. Thank you, Unnamed Film Channel, for attending our WonderCon panel. That WonderCon panel was pretty awesome. Worked off 2 hours of sleep that day. And so it was a bit of a blur to me, but it was awesome. But yeah, so one of the things going around right now is that Disney officially bought Spider-Man for $4.1 billion, and it's in 5 years where they would have all the rights. So Amy Pascal right now is helping to oversee the remaining parts of the Spider-Man movies, like Madam Web and whatever else they're doing. Spider-Man buying Disney. Is that what I said originally?
Spider-Man buys
Spider-Man
Disney.
bought Disney.
Now that would be a very interesting takeover.
So yeah,
Your friendly neighborhood media conglomerate.
I only saw this on Comic Book Cast, who often just reports on the news. This was not released on April 1st. It was March 31st. So unless they were really trying to get ahead of the game
what
here.
What time zone are they in?
I mean, it's 19 hours. They're not that far. Yeah.
Okay. I am finding it from Hardware Zone forums here.
Yeah.
From 14 hours ago. So
which would be...
That's late last night.
I don't know if it's true or not. I feel like that would be cool, though.
Certainly. I mean, I think that would give everybody...
This is a Doctor Strange cape, by the way.
Yes, it is not
a Dracula cape as much as everyone says that.
It's not a promotion for the hit film coming up.
Was it an April Fool's joke?
It feels like it.
Because I saw it posted like March 31st. Unless they're really ahead of the game.
Were they in Europe?
I don't know if they are.
No, I'm curious. I mean, like, if it is true, I think people would be very excited. If it's not true, good joke.
I think this stream would be way more fun if we had more...
If we had more fake news, and we had to figure out, take a
if
poll.
It's actually true.
Yeah, we can leave little polls.
Yeah.
Do you think this story is true? Yes or no?
Because today's our April 1st.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we're 11 and a half hours into April 1st.
You know,
right now.
and I don't know when this comic book cast thing came out. I saw it yesterday, and it said 19 hours ago.
Yes.
So I'm like, I can't have it April 1st.
Yes.
But that would be cool if that was the case. Anyway, I know we've gotten a few super chats. I want to make sure.
I just feel like the big outlets would all be reporting that.
What are your guys' thoughts on
on
Velma? I think we should react to Velma.
Got to react to Velma.
Joker 2 trailer, Lady Gaga's out. You guys know how to trigger my anxiety.
Ooh, yes, this stream is over.
Let me just make sure first, because I only pull this up now. If we have successfully fallen behind.
Clayface, Poison Ivy, and Scarecrow will be a part of the Batman 2. Is that true vengeance? That would be a very cool trio. I mean, I'm always rooting for a Scarecrow appearance, and Poison Ivy. I feel like Matt Reeves' take would be fascinating.
Okay, yeah. So, John, we have not fallen behind. Here we go.
We're doing good.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
hey, we got a new piece of news in this next one.
So here we go. John, where's that spoiler talk graphic here?
All right, it's up at the top title overlay.
So we're implementing this. There's basically something that Ben Affleck spoiled regarding the Flash, a scene that supposedly is actually cut out of the movie now. So I don't think it's that
Now.
big of a spoiler.
Sure.
Because of everything that's happening with the DC universe, and on top of that too, everyone's saying that it's cut out of the movie.
This is just how they market now.
But I wanted to talk about this scene because when reading the quotes, especially from Ben Affleck, it was the first time because this whole time my mindset has been Ben Affleck has just wanted to move on and just have everyone shut the fuck up about Batman. Like, let him be, right?
Let me live.
And then the way he was talking about specifically when going over to this scene, and the way he was being like, "Oh, I know, I quit, but man, I finally figured it out," and stuff. It's like, oh, it seems like he was actually kind of, there was a part of him that was a little bit.
There's a little hint
there's
of
a little hint
optimism
of
in there,
like, maybe
just
I
a
want to
little
continue it a little bit. Yeah.
Like, under the right circumstances, I would love to
Yeah.
explore more now that I finally
So-
know how to play the guy. Like,
Going off memory of the scene, I'm going to put up this graphic. This is when we're going to be done. Once this graphic goes away, and please help us out in the chat if someone comes in and goes, hey, what are they talking about? It says talking spoilers here. What's the spoiler talking
What
about?
is it?
Please let them know what it is. So we're just going to put that right there. Am I able to move this on screen, John?
Yeah. You can move it wherever you like, and you can change
Right
the
there.
size. That's right, please. There you go. King spoilers.
Yeah, I'm going to put this right here for now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Groovy.
So, what happened, in case you guys haven't heard, it's really not that big of a deal, but there's a scene that happens in the Flash movie, apparently, that is now cut out of the film. Where did you read about this?
I did.
Okay.
I know the report.
All right. So, Ben Affleck's Batman at one point is rescued by Wonder Woman, and and part of rescuing him is using the lasso of truth. So, when the lasso of truth is wrapped around you, what comes out? The truth about how you really feel under. Yeah, he poops. He just shits everywhere. And Ben Affleck was like, I now know how to play Batman. He's always he's always having a hole in his shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's happened.
That's
at some
where his
point.
rage stems from. It's his constipation
It's
problems.
just no
It's
time
like,
to poop.
If I don't shit, I will channel my rage. I know how to play Batman now.
Forget about the pain in my intestines.
Anyway, no.
Yeah. No, he spills some sort of intimate truths about himself in this moment to Wonder Woman, and through that, I guess it helped Ben Affleck to sort of greater understand the depth of Bruce Wayne and how to play him.
Yeah. Which would have been a fascinating scene to see, because especially with Ben Affleck's Batman, who is the furthest thing from open and vulnerable, like you already kind of associate that with Batman as a gentleman who has a hard time opening up. But we've seen, like with Christian Bale's and Val Kilmer's, at least,
George Clooney,
get a little bit soft. They would have moments where they get soft and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And with Ben Affleck, you don't get that. And I think it would have been an interesting thing to actually have that scene unfold. So, yeah, he does spoil that, you would have gotten this really heartfelt scene. And that Wonder Woman makes a solid appearance in that film. And it seems like they cut that whole thing out. And I would be curious to have that scene at least revealed one day, because I imagine that was one of his more emotional scenes that he's
must
ever
have
had to have
been.
filmed,
It feels like one of those things that could easily be like a heart swell of like relief, of like, oh, cool, surprise, Wonder Woman's here, but also, yeah, like a surprisingly poignant moment between two characters that do know each other and have history, on screen for a lot of the DCEU.
It seemed like it would have helped narratively drive the plot forward of whatever's going on with helping to transition the Batman out.
Sure.
Like that probably could have aided in being a goodbye scene for him.
Yeah, literally a moment of vulnerability before we, say goodbye.
Yeah.
A peek into his soul would be a really nice sort of way to cap that off. However, not to say that there's not another scene they do have and plan to keep in the movie that could serve that purpose as well. I don't know. Like, I'm sad to hear if it's not in the movie, because it seems like a cool idea, and you could easily then add it to the classic list of scenes where people are interacting with the lasso, like Aquaman and Justice League, and now this. So we're being robbed.
We're being robbed right
being
now.
robbed. But yeah, I don't know. I would love to see the scene in some form.
I don't know. How do you guys feel about this scene getting cut out? Does it bother you?
Are you pissed?
This video is sponsored by Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens. As we talk about shitting several times on this stream today.
Keep yourself regular.
Keep yourself shitting some more with Athletic Greens.
Don't shit out junk food. Shit out some good vitamins and minerals.
All right, we're going to move past that thing. But thanks for asking, Cool Cash G.
Hey.
DC loves Henry. You goddamn right they do.
Henry Cavill for Wonder Woman.
John, what's going on here? What's with this button?
I don't know.
You got to get rid of this button.
I don't know.
That's fine. All right. Alan Ling, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend.
From Patreon, Alan Ling. What's up?
Alan Ling.
We just gave you a big old group shout out.
Hey, Greg and John.
Hi.
I know we were getting a Secret Invasion trailer, but we're also getting Spider-Verse and Blue Beetle. I didn't know. Exciting.
Look out.
Yeah, the scoopers been scooping, and it looks like it's happening. Secret
Jaime.
Invasion trailer mañana. Spider-Verse, I think it's crazy that we're getting all three. It's just like, and is there something going on?
It feels like there
That-
should be a convention,
Is there a convention
or a big
event?
sporting
Yeah.
event. Like E3 just got canceled, so it can't be that.
Because there's also supposed to be the trailer that I'm hearing rumors about for the Robert Rodriguez directed Ben Affleck movie. And
Where Wonder Woman saves
Wonder
him
Woman
with the
saves
lasso
Ben
of
Affleck.
truth,
Yeah, we just spoiled it. And then without the spoiler warning on her. And then we also are getting rumors that, and it looks likely as well, that the new Hunger Games trailer is coming out this week.
Oh, good. Everyone's excited for the new Hunger Games.
Somehow I got to squeeze in a Creed 3 movie reaction as well.
It's going to be good.
Pulling all-nighter for The Mandalorian. So it's suddenly turned into a
very daunting week.
very busy week, which is a good problem to have. It's just I don't understand. Sometimes with these trailer releases, I don't get it. Where you'll get nothing like for so long,
especially now.
and then there'll be a weekend where they're like, "Hey,
Fire everything.
yeah, every studio goes, just release it all."
yeah.
Yeah, now's the time.
That's what they want. Maybe that's it.
Let's
yeah.
have overlap with each other.
Let's
Yeah.
do mass scarcity and then just a whole batch release all at once. Yeah, it's strange because too they don't release these things as far out in advance as it seems like they used to. It seems like nowadays like 3 months out is kind of the sweet spot, and we are heading right into summertime. Like spring just started, 10-ish days ago or 11 days ago. And yeah, it's like we're heading toward the beginning of what will be summer season, so it makes sense to start getting trailers. But also, it is like, what is it about this weekend?
Yeah.
What is it about April Fool's weekend that is so special? But yeah, very excited to see what all of them look like, especially a new Robert Rodriguez joint.
I know, and I've heard good things. It played at what's that called? S&M SX.
South by
Southwest.
SXSW.
It's with Angel Bastida says sex in the chat because yeah, that one always sounds like sex to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently they screened an early cut of Robert Rodriguez's movie there, but it still got amazing feedback. And I was so happy to hear that for Robert Rodriguez.
I know. I'm always rooting for my man's.
Jim Carrey's old Clayface.
So many people could play Clayface. Get Brian Cox to be Clayface. I think he would be a good Clayface in Matt Reeves' universe.
Shadow Realm BG, thank you so much for the super chat here.
Hey.
Greetings from Bulgaria. Do you think Secret Invasion going to deliver bigger than we think? Keep doing the good content. I think the new conversation we need to have surrounding the Marvel Cinematic Universe is I'll be patient and wait.
Yes.
Instead of this is going to be a game changer. I feel like it'll be a good thing. I'm planning on reading. I looked at how long the run was for Secret Invasion. I feel like I can read it pretty fast. I'm planning on reading it closer to when Secret Invasion debuts, even though I feel like it's probably going to be nothing like the comic, because I'm aware of what happens in the comic. But I think that with Secret Invasion, it is essentially picking up from events from Captain Marvel more than anything else. That'll be a lot more honed in and focused on characters like Talos and Nick Fury and what they're dealing with. And you kind of get, I don't mean Captain America, let me phrase, not Civil War. Doesn't make sense. Cold War vibe about it.
Yeah. You get this sort of
Feels like the Civil War.
feels like the American
like
Civil
Ulysses
War.
S. Grant.
Yeah. Emancipating all of the Skrulls. I think this could be a certain opportunity, at least to return to a tone not exactly like the Winter Soldier, but something that has that political thriller vibe, and yes, something that harkens more toward Cold War paranoia type movies. Like that's a really good touchstone, because it's like, who is hiding among us? Who is the concealed enemy, dressed as our friend and whatever else, and what sort of interesting conversations can you have based on that? Like, I think it is a good opportunity for them to do something rich, and I hope that they take it. I'm sort of same thing. I'm waiting to see how everything pans out, and I'm trying not to let my excitement carry me away ahead of myself for these different things, because the shows have shown over, I think, average, at least. There are certain shows that really kind of nail it across the board, but a lot of them have these really great elements and then have these particular shortcomings that aren't too hard to spot. And so I'm hoping that they're just taking notes on all this. I think it's good that they are taking their time. Granted, this has been, it's part of the wave of like, we're going to do tons and tons of content. But I hope that this can kind of set a new sort of stage for what's to come tonally.
Well, it sounds like it could also be surprisingly personal.
I think so too. Yeah. And I mean, I really liked the Skrulls and their sort of storyline in Captain Marvel and the relationship with Talos and Nick Fury. So like, I'm excited to see that stuff extrapolated on, and two, just the fun of, peep shapeshifters and copycats. And
we must move on. I'm secretly doing this.
What is that? What are you doing?
Where's
the words I was just responding to? And now I don't know what I was talking about. Dakota
we're
Jones.
moving on.
We got some from Dakota Jones, our good friend One Virus Effects over here.
Let's interrupt this. This is not confirmed.
TASM 3.
I will not fall. You got to do better. Everyone.
That's an April Fool right there.
I want to see who in the chat can contribute an April Fool's headline to me. And actually,
that's
really
convincing.
Like, what is convincing? But no way that's true. That would be, I would have stopped this stream right now. John, you were reading Dakota Jones?
Yeah, no. There's no news report. Dakota Jones. Will Bill Skarsgard playing Pennywise with Bill Skarsgard, now the Crow, and Nosferatu. What other iconic role, comic or horror, could you see him tackle next? I don't want him to play a villain next. I want him to play like...
Actually,
make him Jason Todd. I want him to do that.
I feel like he'd be a fantastic Clayface.
Sure. Great idea. Actually, yeah. Because certainly
I think no matter which version, the Mike Flanagan, more artistic Phantom of the Opera vibe, gothic horror version, the Batman Matt Reeves version, or even the more fun side of the DCU of James Gunn, I think.
Well, that's the thing, is you could Clayface is a fun opportunity because there are so many takes and so many origins and many characters who have worn that mantle, and you could really crash a lot of those things together. Even like so many of them don't necessarily preclude the others, so you could make them all part of this weird sort of amorphous history. And Bill Skarsgård, honestly, that's a good call, man.
It would be. I think him as Clayface would be good, honestly.
Well, then cast him.
People have been asking about Dungeons and Dragons in the chat, and I personally am waiting for it to come to VOD. It's up to John if he wants to wait or not.
Absolutely wait. It sounds like a blast, and I would...
I'm not asking you to wait. I'm saying you have the choice.
It would be a joy to react to you, so unless you're giving me a thinly veiled hint that you don't want
I don't want you near me.
Unless this is a hint I'm not picking up, I am more than happy to enjoy it with you here in the lovely and posh Real Reject studio.
Mayank Ranavare, thank you for this thingy. I don't know what that
Creed was my one for the year.
You take Creed.
Yeah, I was like, I'll see this in IMAX.
No, you always have to. I will never ask anyone else to wait unless it's like, please, John, wait. It's like Cocaine Bear was like, hey, did you see this in theaters? No? All right, let's react to it. Okay.
I'll be there for Evil Dead, don't worry.
Colby Steffens, Transformers official trailer will drop this week.
Jesus Christo.
The part that stresses me about this, even though I know people don't require us to be experts, is I really do my best to research a bunch beforehand, and it bums me out because my brain can only handle so much because I don't just have a memory game. I got it because it's like it's always diverted between like my personal the other things I'm working on, and then editing and whatever. And my noggin can, like, to give you an example, I watched all of Attack on Titan, and then part 3 comes out, and I'm like, shit, I need a refresher. And then I decided I'm just gonna read the manga because it's pretty accurate to the show. And I'm reading it, and I'm almost done with where I need to catch up to, and I'm like, I forgot so much of what happened. I didn't even remember the most important history and backstory leading in. So my brain just misses stuff all the because and it sucks because I do commit a lot of time and research to either watch, especially I'll read a lot of the actual source material, or I'll take the time to like watch the Star Wars animated shows, and then I'll still miss stuff, and it bums me out. It does bum me out.
I want to see a map of
So
your
so
brain.
Transformers, I'm like, oh my god, I don't remember so much about
The Beast Wars now.
and I don't know anyone who's a Transformers expert.
You could hire John Bailey.
I could hire John Bailey. Actually, it's not a bad call.
Yeah, he's a Transformer. Joshua J. Gonzalez.
Thank you,
For
Joshua.
joining in and participating and contributing. I just noticed that you guys aren't sitting on your actual chairs. We are actually, however, they've been rearranged
You mean
on
we're
the sides.
placed in different spots.
True, yeah. I'm usually in the spider chair when I'm with the G train, but we're on the different sides today.
I want to talk about Michael Mando super quick for just 1 minute.
Yes.
Because Michael Mando, if you guys don't know, he was in Better Call Saul as Nacho, but also he was Scorpion in the Spider-Man Homecoming movie.
Woo!
And like that really didn't do much for me for him in Homecoming. I was like, oh, sucks for that actor to not be coming back. But after seeing him as Nacho in Better Call Saul, that would be a complete, oh man, you are missing out on a great opportunity because he is phenomenal in that series. Phenomenal. And I would hope that if any of these rumors for the next Spider-Man movie are true, you got to bring Scorpion into the equation. Like, we haven't gotten Scorpion yet.
Yeah.
You got to bring Scorpion into the equation. And if you don't bring Michael Mando back, you are doing yourself a disservice, Sony and Marvel.
Well, yeah, I mean, he and Adrian Toombs are in prison together, so
Yeah.
or they were until Adrian Toombs got sprung. So
True.
it's got to come back in some way, shape, or form.
Let's see here. Cruz Rivera, thank you for the moment of silence.
And Velma is definitely coming. Reactions in the series.
Oh yeah.
All
We're
the
gonna
way.
prioritize Velma.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch a show to hate it.
All week, rage watch.
We won't win with Velma.
Hello to Venezuela. It's nice to have you in the chat.
What do you think of Liv Tyler's returning Captain America 4? I'm sure it'll be a great cameo.
Yeah.
I don't
love
I
everybody.
don't feel like it's going to be as special as people think. It's more like, yeah, she still counts.
Yeah, I
She
know.
She still counts.
This movie is still technically canon,
Yeah.
even though the Universal stuff is hinky. Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen all those reports of people going like, well, they can't make a Hulk movie called The Hulk, so they're just going to make Captain America the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen, even if there are Red Hulks and other characters relevant to the Hulk. Even if the Hulk himself is a big character, I think it would be pretty disrespectful to Anthony Mackie's first feature as
no.
Captain America to make it a Hulk movie instead, you know?
I need a oh my God.
Oh, we did it.
I'm always
you
afraid we're
got
going
it.
to lose our
You're
spot. in
so
the chat.
money, baby. You're better than me at this.
I mean, I did see, I briefly saw it in this quick skim, but I would love for Daredevil to appear in the next Spider-Man movie. I think if there's an MCU character that makes the most sense to appear alongside of Spider-Man, if that's part of the Sony contract, which I think it is, I think Daredevil makes the most sense. And who the hell wouldn't want to see that?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. And especially if he doesn't know it's Matt Murdock, after Matt Murdock was his lawyer who defended him in No Way Home.
Right.
That'd
You
be-
mean Matt Murdock doesn't know it's him? Yeah.
No, I mean,
Because
Tom Holland wouldn't know that Daredevil and Matt Murdock are the same.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Matt Murdock just would have no idea.
Mr. Blind Man?
Mr. Blind Man, represent me in the court.
Mr. Blind Man?
How can you see so good?
Resident Nerd Man, thank you so much. Did you guys hear? Gunn officially cast Nick Cage as Superman and Batman. What a win! Ha! You think I'd fall for such a thing? John, do your Nicolas Cage impression.
Do you bleed? You will.
I do a Superman line.
I'm a big fan of justice.
You went with the Joss Whedon line.
It's always, man. That's the canonical version, all right?
So that counts going to continue.
That's the one that Warner Brothers wants to hang their hat on. So I'm a shill for the WB, G.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think the April Fool's thing is funny. Some people really hate it. It does freak me out. I think it
depends.
Fun. I can fall for some shit though.
Sure. I fell for one this morning.
Thanos Disney Plus show coming.
What
would that
what?
be? That would be so funny.
Either about him just
That'd be
chilling
so
and farming.
funny.
I think they should do just like a Thanos home renovation show where it's just him like at his hut making fixes.
Mayank Rananavari. Thank you so much for the super chat. John, why don't you read it, my friend?
Hey. Hi, Greg and John. Hello from India. Hello to India. Huge fan here. My question is, what's the future of Jonathan Majors in the MCU given the recent events? That's the question, and there isn't yet an answer because we just don't know, unfortunately. And the latest batch of
Recast him with Bill Skarsgard.
That's right. Yeah, just throw Pennywise into the mix and then have him play every villain from here on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, certainly right now it seems like they're just taking everything under consideration, and if it turns out that he can't, that he is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, then they're going to recast, and if not, then they won't.
Yeah. I think that, John, when I said this is 2 minutes.
I thought that was like 2 seconds.
No. I'm going to give finger things.
Okay.
And
I'm learning
and
the
I'm
cues.
timings. Yeah. And I'm just going to say it out loud so everyone knows. I don't want to lie to you guys.
This is how the sausage is made.
This means 1 minute.
This means you're making a great point. Please continue. And I don't know if anybody actually saw what we were doing.
I mean, yeah, for Jonathan Majors, I think wait till it plays out and see what happens because I don't. It's such a divide right now. I think if you go on Twitter, it will be very easy to believe that everyone feels like the text messages just prove that Jonathan Majors is abusive. And if you saw our video yesterday, you know, like even for us, we're like, I can understand how one side would believe this proves he's innocent and the other side would completely believe this proves he's an abusive asshole.
Yeah.
Right? Like either one can be proved. Like
can't hear the tone of voice in this text.
And I'm telling you, it was definitely alarming for us as well. But you know, no, we're right now with if they have a video, I'd rather just wait for that.
Yeah.
I think that Johnny Depp trial really just put everything in a different.
Really
just like
everyone's
before we
brains.
believe anything, let's just wait to hear.
Yeah.
Before we conclude, we should really wait it out a little bit.
Well, yeah, because at least that trial taught us how ugly and messy and gray all this stuff can be. So yeah, it's like you really don't. The court of public opinion doesn't know any better than the people with the actual evidence, even if they are trying to spin evidence.
So I think right now the way it's going about it to try to like instantly do damage control is not smart.
It's not
from
helping.
a PR standpoint, not smart.
It's not creating the alleviation that they want.
I believe there are conversations happening. I wouldn't be surprised that I think they should be having conversations about what do we do.
They're probably having daily conversations.
And honestly, you know, with it being multiverse and variants and all that shit, like I think you can recast. Worst case, as great as he is as Kang, I totally think you can.
Yeah, man, throw Michael B. Jordan
I think
in
you
there.
can recast. To me, it's not the Flash situation where they already spent all this money and they filmed it and everything, and you can't just reshoot that shit. You know? Oh yeah.
Well,
so
and I
same
mean,
thing.
in worst case, if somebody did come in with a new face, that would at least lead to a big old surprise.
Yeah.
In real time watching the movie.
I think just get the whitest, skinniest guy you can find. Ginger Geek, happy birthday to you, my friend.
Hey, happy birthday to you.
Nicolas Cage is Bruce Wayne.
Tom Holland for Nightwing. Good call.
Dwayne Johnson is Robin.
Woo!
Official
Finn
Wolfhard
Wolfhard
as
as Clayface. That's coming. Or James Corden as Clayface. Also a perfect casting choice.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Second James Corden, good. I like the licky face vengeance.
The main thing that Spider-Man has going for it and Sony is the Spider-Verse films, man.
Yeah.
Um,
Apparently there's a basketball game, and that's why all these trailers are dropping. I don't know.
fucking yeah. We gotta tune into the basketball game.
We gotta find some way to get nerds to tune into this sporting event.
Well, I used to think about that. Like, is that what they're trying to do? Get us to tune in? But I think it's mainly to appeal to all the people who don't follow this stuff regularly.
Yeah, we're gonna slip this nerd shit into your basketball.
Because once in a while, I do catch something that's randomly on someone else's television if I'm over their place, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So
I should watch more basketball.
Say on.
It works both ways.
Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Thank you for everyone who's here. Please leave a like if you haven't done so already, because yeah, that helps with the playback. And thank you to everyone who's been contributing to our super chats. Seon, what's up, Greg and John? Been a fan since 500K. Right around there, I decided I'm gonna be a fan.
They have enough clout that I can commit to fandom.
Wish I could have saw you guys at WonderCon. It's okay.
Next time.
You're here giving a very generous super chat. That means way more.
Yeah.
What's your top 5 worst TV shows you've ever seen? Sending love all the way from Dallas. Funny enough, I met a guy at the gym today, Josh, who's from Houston. Anyway, the top 5 worst TV shows I've ever seen. I don't know what I've never stuck it out with a worst TV show.
Yeah.
I've
never just been like, this is garbage. I have to finish it.
We've even done that on Patreon. Like, there's been shows that were just like, this is, even though people are watching it on our Patreon, I'm like, well, it's not jiving for us. Like, we're just not enjoying it.
Yeah.
We have a criteria for shows that we cover. The main 3 criteria are we genuinely interested in it? Will our audience be interested in it, and how much traction will it bring? You know.
Yeah.
So that's like the 3 areas you want to try to hit for us. But we always do start with, are we interested in it?
That's number one. Yeah.
But I could tell you some of the most disappointing endings for me that I've experienced with TV, because there's I would say both endings of Dexter, the rebooted ending and the actual the first ending and the actual ending. Game of Thrones is a sad experience overall, and those reactions were here. That was a really sad experience,
and that makes me go like, do I want to commit to a rewatch? If I know that Hill is gonna crash.
I didn't hate Iron Fist to the degree that everyone else hated it, but I think when you put it in the influx of so many great hits, like, Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones, that's a real bummer. And God, I think I can't really think of.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm willing to quit a show if it ain't working for me.
Especially, in the past several years, it's to that point where just like, if I'm not invested in this, there's not all the time in the world, so I'll go look at something else. I mean, God, I wish I had a better answer to this question. It's true. Like, the ending of Game of Thrones certainly comes to mind. The ending of, like, the endings of things, like, How I Met Your Mother, or Walking Dead certainly was the first show that I actually, that was the first show where I, like, had the moment with myself where I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop this. I used to love this, and now I can just feel myself going through the motions.
Apparently it got, like, amazing.
That's what I've heard.
After, like, several boring seasons.
5 or 4 or 5 seasons. It's that season 11 thing.
Yeah.
Like, because we're doing Supernatural at Patreon, and Supernatural has like a banger 11th season. And I think people were saying it was like 10 or 11 for Walking Dead, where they're like, no, they got a new showrunner. It's freaking great now.
Yeah.
And part of me is always like, maybe I'll just jump back in on I'll just skip some of those seasons and just go to this. And I don't know. If it would work,
that goddamn Rick movie.
It's apparently still on the table, and they have like new Walking Dead spinoffs coming to HBO. So maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so secret. Well, I mean, that's our answer for that. There's not really anything.
If I come up with more disappointing shows, I'll let you know. I mean, Jessica Jones certainly petered out and got pretty tedious, and that was a bummer because the first one was so good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was any like particularly wretched pilots or anything like that. At least
I think Book of Boba Fett in retrospect is a weird, disappointing experience when you had decades to figure it out.
Yeah, and made all the more disappointing
Yeah.
by the fact that there is good work in it, and it's
Yeah.
so misshapen that it, doesn't really honor that.
Yeah.
But Luis Morales.
I can answer this one.
Sure,
Luis
take it
Morales, are
away.
you guys going to watch Superman and Lois? I'm assuming for season 3. I appreciate the inquiry here, Luis, and of course the super chat asking about it. For Superman and Lois season 3, well, it's funny enough. We were just bringing up what we were saying our criteria is for covering
Yeah.
shows, because I don't know what the there's been some changes happening here behind the scenes. Like we've uploaded significantly less, and after evaluation of how not only how much stuff we put out last year, but also how it like mentally and emotionally can be affecting, like when the camera's not rolling, especially, but then also how it can bleed into camera. I feel like a big part of what happened with Brooklyn Nine-Nine and why we ended up losing viewership, I've noticed like there's a solid period where people were like, Greg looks bored. And I'm like, no, the truth is I'm just really fucking tired. And I can still enjoy something really tired, but I'm not going to be as expressive because I'm tired. I'm like that in real life. When I'm more tired, I'm probably not going to be as expressive in conversation. Like it's just the way it goes. And for Superman and Lois, as much as we really enjoyed that show, it just plain and simple for like the 16 to 10 to 16 weeks or whatever. It's like 16-week commitment or something like that.
Yeah.
It simply just did not generate both seasons, but especially the second season did not generate the viewership. Like we're interested in it. It didn't generate the
Great
viewership.
show.
And then it's like, okay, I can commit like the extra hours to editing it, but it won't really pay off in the end because it'll be like so many more extra hours. And the other part sometimes that we do is like, okay, but it's like, are the watch alongs on our Patreon getting that much? Like, are we getting a good conversion there? Because in order to balance everything that happens here, because to be totally honest with you guys, like there's plenty of days, and there was a period I worked every day up until the day before my wedding, and there's a lot of times where I'll be working like, because a lot of the making the editing and thumbnails, even if we get people who like we have Prepper who helps us edit, we're still very much involved on the re-edits for those things, and a lot of times that can be so much extra time. And the most important thing that it tends to come down to for this channel is, oh yeah, but when we're filming, we have to be like alive,
Yeah.
and that can greatly affect the experience. And with Superman and Lois, on top of that too, with not many people were just watching at our Patreon. We'd have like consistently 8 to 9 people at our Patreon watching it. And as much as we enjoyed the show, the interest is just not as like for people who were watching the same consecutive people. Bottom line is like I definitely invested in getting editors to help out with that one, and didn't even break even on that investment. And so I kind of have to pay attention to that personally, because I got to make sure all the guests who we bring on here, the regulars, that I get to pay them. I got to make sure John gets paid. I got to make sure the editors get paid. I got to make sure everyone's getting paid. And then also, if you were to look at my bank account right now, there's like a real rejects bank account because I had to set it up as a business, and I don't really pay myself. I pay myself for what I need to for my living expenses, basically. Like I pay myself just enough but I also want to make sure everyone else is getting paid. So I know it's kind of a convoluted answer, but there's a lot that factors into, do we commit to this for 16 weeks, and what was the experience like, and did it, and then okay, ultimately when doing the analytics on this, yeah, like both seasons, it actually ended up, as much as I enjoyed the show, it was did not even break even on the investment for it, which I just got to face reality on something like that, and eventually, and you sometimes just get to a position. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys, like this is a conversation a lot of YouTubers have, and I normally don't feel comfortable discussing this because it sounds. I understand that there can be one version of this that can sound like Greg's just thinking about views and money. I'm like, well, not. Yes, there is a factor to that, but I am also thinking of, well, the work versus reward on this will not really be a pay. Like I'll pull an all-nighter for Mandalorian because I know it's going to do well.
It'll pay off to do so.
Yeah,
it's worth that investment.
But Superman and Lois will, like that'll if I'm editing it, those will take me like 3 to 4 hours to edit. Then making the thumbnails will take like another hour, and then at the end of it all, I'm like, okay, well, that's made like $45.
If that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of like dropping a rock in your boat a little bit, and you always hope that, it'll
And then when you put all that
perform well, but
when you put all that investment and time and energy into it, and then you don't get it actually can affect the viewing experience.
Well,
That's the weird part, and I hate when that happens, when that affects the enjoyment, because I will enjoy it more just watching on my own.
especially with a show as good as that, because also too, it's like it's a really great show. It's really fun to watch, and then it's a bummer when more people don't join in with us to have that experience, because then it's like, oh, like what are we doing wrong?
Because we're not helping people. Some people are really like. I remember like we didn't cover Doom Patrol. And people were like, well, Doom Patrol's failing, and you're not helping by not covering it. And I'm like, well, to be honest with you, we're not part of the promote. People watch our shit after they're already watching it.
Yeah,
we're not
it's
getting people to watch it.
It's not people going, wow, I watched all these reactions. Now I'll go check this show out. Now that I know all that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Because one metric that we have for it is, okay, is it doing well on our Patreon at least, and then we'll keep it going. But I was like, oh, only like 8 to 9 people are watching this on our Patreon. And this is like, that's not good numbers. So yeah, after a while, you do got to make that choice to just scrap it. But at the same time, like I said, there have been shows that at our Patreon that we were covering that we liked, that we were not liking, but people were watching. But because we weren't liking it, we were like, we got to can it because we're not liking it.
It's not translating into it.
There's criteria. I wanted to give a detailed answer on that because I know there've been getting that comment a lot. So I'm just going to clip that portion out and then release it somewhere. Let me make a timer around the 50-minute mark in this stream. All righty, guys. Well, thank you. But thank you guys for hearing me out on that. Crooked. Thank you so much for the super chat. Have we given up on Andrew Garfield having another solo Spider-Man movie? Did Morbius kill that? Feel like it killed that possibility. John, it's been a long time explaining that Superman and Lois thing. Why don't you answer that question for Crooked? Thank you for the super chat.
Sure. I certainly don't think Morbius helped that, although I guess I would say for my own view of the situation that a third Andrew Garfield Spider-Man solo outing has always felt like another one of those unprecedented events. I know everyone was really riding high off Spider-Man No Way Home and everything they were able to achieve with that and honoring his character there, and I certainly think that the possibility still remains that he could don the suit again, but like any announcement of an Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 3 to me would be like a pretty solid surprise. Like they're building this thing with Tom Holland still, and I do think that while there is that level of enthusiasm for Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, they've talked to him as well about coming back. Certainly, the whole Amazing Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 4 stuff is very much an I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing. I believe they would make an appearance sooner than they would actually invest hundreds of millions of dollars into continuing a franchise that's already, been, kind of had the box shut on it.
It's funny because, James Gunn is trying to get this DC universe in line because he's like, you got this timeline, you got this timeline, you got this, and it's we gotta find a way to streamline some of this, to make one specific timeline and then have an Elseworlds thing going on, right? It's funny that with Spider-Man No Way Home, they landed themselves in a position where they easily could have done all 3 Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
They could have done all 3. Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, Amazing Spider-Man 3, and continue Tom Holland's.
Yeah.
Because No Way Home was a massive success, and they made it crystal clear each individual storylines for them.
Yeah.
And I think audiences would tune in for each one of those movies, especially after No Way Home. Like they have a gold mine on their hands that they could have really capitalized and honed in on, but it seems like they're making no real effort or plans to go through with that, which is pretty insane to me because they're the thing that James Gunn is concerned about with the DC universe. I'm like, well, Spider-Man universe actually wouldn't have that problem. It wouldn't be confusing for people.
Yeah,
because No Way Home made it clear.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess my question then would just be like, what is the restriction from the Marvel side? I feel like that would be the biggest wrench.
Screw
in those
that.
gears.
Victoria Alonso ruined everything because she wanted to promote her weird movie or something.
Sure.
Yeah, Marvel directs these movies. Corey Handler from New Orleans, thank you so much for being here, Corey. Or Louisiana, and Sarah Williamson also in there. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Alan Ling. You guys recognize me from Patreon.
Of course.
I didn't think you would. Haha. Yeah, you're just numbers to us at our Patreon.
Number 5042.
Asking as we're a week out, what do you think we'll get out of Star Wars Celebration? Any movies finally? More TV shows? I don't know, man. Lucasfilm is in a weird fucking situation, man.
We'll just get more canceled projects.
I have no idea. Yeah, that would be the best. We're canceling. Here's everything we're canceling.
Here's everything not to look forward to.
That would be hilarious.
That's for today. They should do that today.
I think we're going to get more official Acolyte announcements because they're in the process of getting all these directors. I mean, have they started filming Acolyte?
Have they? I know they're talking a lot about
Which
the
one's the one-
Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew's the one with Jude Law.
directors. Yeah, and the Daniels are doing one, and some.
Oh,
other
that's what's happening. Am I
Yeah.
confused about that? I don't remember which one Jude Law is in. Is he
I
Skeleton
believe
Crew?
that is Skeleton Crew.
And then the Downs are being courted for that, not Acolyte.
Yeah, they did. They've at least done. I think it's
Okay.
already shot one episode of the Skeleton Crew.
Footage of that. I think we'll finally get. I think an Ahsoka trailer will actually drop online. I feel like it'll be in conjunction. My prediction is that Mandalorian Season 3 will have an episode that features Ahsoka since they're deciding to introduce all of Star Wars Rebels in there. So I think it'll have Ahsoka, and then after around that time, whatever plotline we get, then we can get an Ahsoka trailer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was
Especially as they're
quite clever
teasing all
marketing.
these Rebels characters. Because like the Space Whale, always forget the name of them, but the Space Whale is in episode 1. Massive part of the finale of Star Wars Rebels. And then, of course, Zeb being introduced. And after Thrawn being mentioned in Season 2. And I don't think there's any name of Ezra mentioned. But, Ezra Bridger is supposed to be in that Ahsoka show, I believe. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't think they're going to announce any movies.
a new holiday special.
I really think the time for Kathleen Kennedy to end. I think the time of Kathleen Kennedy leaving will probably come a little bit after Indiana Jones. I think it's going to happen
makes
then.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Let the current projects ride out.
Let the past die.
Kill it if you have to.
It's interesting to hear about Daredevil Born Again taking place during and after the blip.
I like that. Actually, I've heard that being an explanation as to maybe why Foggy and Karen aren't back.
Well, yeah, I mean, they also,
Or has there been a newer development?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. I hope they bring back that Electra actress. She was amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Bad Medicine. Thanks for being here, bud. Or is it Buds? Thanks for being here. Chris Rock as Scarecrow. That was an all right stand-up special.
Oh, did you watch it? I watched the Marlon Wayans one.
That's where you went with? You didn't watch the Chris Rock one?
No.
Did you really choose the Marlon Wayans stand-up over the Chris Rock stand-up?
I mean, not in those direct. I wasn't sitting there going, which one do I watch? I just happened to have watched the Marlon Wayans one.
You didn't even bother to check out the Chris Rock one?
I mean, I heard the clip of him talking about Will Smith and all that stuff.
This was like the most anticipated stand-up of all time, and it was okay.
That's what I heard. That's why I was like, I'll watch the clip, and then eventually, if I'm really that compelled, I'll go watch the whole
It
special.
was
But,
an okay stand. And I thought his prior one was brilliant.
Okay.
Whatever the first Netflix one he did, I thought that was brilliant.
Okay.
Let's see
I'll watch
here.
that one instead.
Bad Medicine is the shit. Subscribe to Bad Medicine if you guys haven't done so already. It will be worth your time and money.
Absolute vodka.
Adam Sandler as Magneto.
I love it.
I like to be metal. metal. Johnny, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend.
Ooh.
John,
God.
you specifically.
Oh.
Your top 5 directors today and top 5 of all time. I'm putting a timer on you, or else we'll be here forever.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be tricky.
You got 90 seconds to speak from your subconscious.
Best directors working right now. I like Panos Cosmatos a lot. I like, I always enjoy an Edgar Wright joint. God, Gosh, on the spot, it's so hard.
Come on, John.
I'm trying to think of movies that I've enjoyed.
Speak from your heart. You got 1 minute, John.
I'm not. I would have to look. Yeah.
You panic under pressure. Don't do it.
Yeah, my mind just clears
Don't
out.
panic under pressure, John.
I'm trying not to.
Do you like Quentin Tarantino?
I like Quentin Tarantino.
Okay. Do you like Edgar Wright?
Yes.
You said Edgar Wright.
Rodriguez. I always like a Rodriguez joint.
Really? Okay. Do you like Christopher Nolan?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's great.
Like David Fincher?
I mean, big respect.
Ari
I
Aster.
don't really claim him as a fave. Ari Aster's great. I don't like have that like gotta. John Carpenter is certainly one.
Sure.
I want to name a female director, but I don't know who to pull.
They don't direct movies.
The
producers do, the male ones.
Yes, that's true. That's right. Any movie directed by a woman is directed
Jennifer
by her male
Kent?
producer.
Karen Kusama?
Karen Kusama, I do like her stuff a lot. We'll go there for right now.
Bam. I just named 10 directors for John.
You're good at
and he
that.
said he likes.
You're much better at off the doming those kinds of things than me. I need to like look up I need to look up.
There's no time to think. You just
I
go
know.
from the heart.
Yeah, I'll learn your skills.
Pressure creates diamonds.
It can.
Or it makes you shrink up. It's one of the two.
I mean, pressure clears my head out, and that's when that's the irony. I'm like, why couldn't you be here when I was meditating? Why couldn't my head be clear then?
Heather Gear, thank you for being here. Super sad I wasn't local to make your panel.
Oh, it's okay.
You could have driven. Someone drove 10 hours just to it. They literally arrived and then left WonderCon after 10 hours. And I thought that was incredible. And he had such a great girlfriend because she drove the whole way.
I know. And she certainly seemed like she did that for him.
I bet she had no idea who we were.
I don't think she had
clue who we were.
and
I love seeing that dynamic for like the 2 live events we've done recently. I love seeing when someone has a significant other and the significant other has no clue who we are.
Yes.
Anyway, she asks, "Do you think the mid and you care too much to get
Danny
it right?"
Boyle.
There you go. You care too much.
Yeah, I want to have a good
What's the-
answer,
what is
and I
the-
also
there's
want to
like-
know
there's
for
like
me.
There's like a worry that I think keeps that you're not saying, you're not giving the proper answer, and I think you lean too much
Yeah, it's
into
like
the
I want to give
worry.
the answer that I feel is spiritually right for me,
Yeah.
but I also want to give an answer I think is a good answer, like a quality answer. Because I don't know if I'm just like naming rando directors, then
But-
it's not.
but the
Then I don't feel
But
good.
I think you have a fear that kicks in, and that fear is what creates this blockage.
it could be.
But if you lead with love, it's so
Sure.
much easier to find that answer.
okay,
That's what I mean by come from the heart,
okay,
because you'll find it from there instead of like, people were mean to me growing up. What do I do?
that's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about these directors. I was like, who was there for me when people were mean? Danny Boyle. That's who was there for me.
Heather Gears. Do you think the mid-end credits are still enjoyable for the MCU/DCEU? I think Black Panther: Wakanda Forever weirdly has been washed away. Even for me, when I like talk about what Marvel's been like lately, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I love that movie. That was one of the more recent ones.
Yeah.
And the Henry Cavill one was pretty awesome. They're still like corny and cheesy and sequel setups, sure. But I think they're still fairly enjoyable. I don't hate them. I like the DC one is for Shazam: Fury of the Gods was a little cringy, sure. Last one a little cringy, sure.
Yeah.
You know how we felt about the King Dynasty one?
Quite cringy, certainly. It is one of those where they are requisite now, so there isn't the spontaneity so much, but they're still fun and exciting because there's still mystery boxes because you know that they will likely one will have some odd to do with the movie, and then one will likely be toward the future. But without going too specifically, even though probably everyone's seen Quantumania, like the post credits bit, I was very excited about, and I thought was like a really cool little scene. So like, yeah, it happens. It's just now
It's
I'm.
just a clip. I don't think those really count.
I mean,
If you
that's
just
fair.
if you just take a
It's-
clip,
it's not a special moment made just for
it's
this.
the
It's like we had some Loki footage.
it's
and
the
we need to-
equivalent of
yeah.
playing a trailer to me.
It is, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And what was the movie where they showed the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness just
Spider-Man,
trailer at the end?
yeah.
So like, yeah, like I don't care as much for that philosophy, even though I
Yeah.
did enjoy that scene. So yeah, it's like I think the sheen is a little bit dispelled now,
Well,
but
I think I'll give myself 30 seconds here. I think the point with to go off of the point here
sure.
is it's been a while since we had a post credits. Like I love the Black Panther one because Wakanda Forever because it was so emotional and felt like a real scene that added to the ending. I'm trying to make sure blocked off there. Whereas, but the last time there was a mid credit scene that didn't just feel like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, sure. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like if Henry Cavill wasn't ruined, that would have had more of that effect for sure. I can imagine the people who didn't know about it were like, "Oh my god!" But when it comes to the last one that really was like, "Holy shit!" was I think Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Sure.
When Peter Parker and J. Jonah Jameson and
Yeah.
and he's Spider-Man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was the last one where it was like,
Whoa, what is happening? Yeah.
what a
like,
mid credits.
yeah, like everything that just happened has been completely
Like,
flipped
what
upside
the
down.
hell?
Yeah. I'm
Whoa.
disoriented and excited all at the same
And
time.
I can't wait for this next Spider-Man movie. What are they gonna
Sure.
do? Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good call.
that was the last one where but now a lot of times we're like, all right, cool, yep, yeah, you need one.
yeah, absolutely. It's just
Yeah.
they're requisite now. It's like
Yeah.
if you don't get a mid and a post credit scene now, I feel like you'd walk out going, "What happened there? Where was the scenes?" Yeah.
Thank you guys again for being here. Really means a lot. Deadshot is asking, and yes, just go ahead. How intrigued are you about the Flash movie? Since Tom Cruise love it. Not gonna lie, it does do something. Outside of movies, are you ready for MK12 trailers soon? Oh Jesus!
Oh boy, they're making a new MK.
I need to get into the storyline. It's been a while. We got
Play
six
every
years.
game.
Yeah, John, you didn't really get a comment about this. I talked about it last stream. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about Tom Cruise loving the Flash?
Good. I mean, it certainly seems like Tom Cruise is an agent of cinema. I don't think he has any reason to do this, out of a contrivance of any kind. It seems like if he heard it was great and got a copy and said it was great, it's probably pretty great. I don't know, like unanimously everyone was like, this movie's great. So unless there's some kind of shadowy conspiracy where people were like, we just need this movie to make money, please, that's very hardening.
I think there is some weight though to about him calling Andy Muschietti. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that suggests, again, like if that really happened, I think that's a lovely thing because, yeah, that shows, especially from somebody like Tom Cruise. I can just imagine he's like, no, I got to let you know how great this is, and yeah, like, and I that makes me really happy for Andy Muschietti, especially because of how difficult a road this has been. And like I am rooting for him to, level up again, with this movie from, Mama to It to this. So.
Oh, he did Mama?
Didn't he? Am I?
Or was it Ma?
not Ma with Octavia Spencer. No. But yeah. I think Mama is a Muschietti joint. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. When he was going by Andres still. Back in the Dia. That's right.
And somewhere along the line, his publicist in America was like, "We need you to be more of a universally appealing name for cinemas. We don't want people thinking this is a Mexican movie. We want them to know Andy's is more relatable than Huntress puts you into a corner.
Yes. Yes, of course. That's right. It's too Americans, we don't know what to do. We're like, are we going to pronounce this wrong? Is you some kind of hoity-toity director? But Andy, everyone knows an Andy.
To this day, is it Schwartzenslimer? No one knows how to pronounce Arnold's last name.
Schwartzenslimer is my favorite Ghostbusters character.
Yeah, we are
Schwartzenslimer.
ready for MK12 trailers. Daisha always watching. So good to see you here. Don't worry, we'll be watching D&D. Sandman will forever be on the list. Maybe when season 2 comes out, we'll watch it and then have a Witcher experience where season 2 ends up being hated. Netflix's Dark is something that has been considered for certain. For certain, it's been considered.
Yeah, people love Dark, and they've been I've heard people talk about it consistently for years.
Yeah, I do want to watch it, man. Thank you. Oh no, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, I'll at least finish out season 4. See how that
At
goes.
the very least, we'll see.
Bigots have started to forget that Civil War was titled Captain America movie while being Avengers. Just a constant why.
That's right, man. Ah, how
love that.
dare they?
I love that. Super Soldier Sim and Incredible Hulk after all. My favorite part of live streams is when I'm just reading these to myself without reading them out loud.
It's okay, because now I'll recite the directors again.
Take it away, John.
Okay.
Do it super quick.
Okay, so the directors working right now, I would say it's Jordan Peele, Robert Eggers, Denis Villeneuve, Ari Aster, and Tarantino for the auteur veteran status. And then personals, I would go Panos Cosmatos, Danny Boyle, John Carpenter, Karin Kusama, and Edgar Wright.
You say that Tarantino thing as if he's not an amazing director.
He is an amazing director. It's
is-
just one of those pulls that's an obvious pull that, like, everyone
John,
kind of
for the
goes like,
love of
well, of
God."
course you chose Tarantino. And Rodriguez.
Well,
I
there's
like Rodriguez a lot.
He's really hit or miss.
He's
for
hit or
me.
miss, but I like his. I like how him all of it is.
Yeah.
Whereas like there's certain people who make a miss, and I'm like, this is just a nothing cake. Whereas like a Robert Rodriguez miss is still filled with flavors,
Sure.
even if it doesn't work.
Crooked. Thank you, Crooked.
Crooked.
My God, what is wrong with this mouse? Oh, and one more thing. Don't want to spoil it for John, who she is, but Florence Pugh as Abby in Last of Us Season 2, please. Oh, my God. I do like that pick. Even though people say she's too old, I like a lot the like I was thinking about it when watching Mandalorian, whoever that woman is with Pershing in episode
Oh yeah.
4. I don't know that actress's name, but she's great. She's also in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Katie O something.
I think she would be a fantastic pick.
Katie O'Brien.
I mean, she's got the build and she's very believable, and she's got enough quality. She doesn't look a lot like as Abby, but I think she'd be a good pick. But yeah, we shouldn't really talk too much about this. Let's see your city boy, city slickers, city slickers,
City boy.
do you think Reverse Flash is going to be in the Flash movie? I do not think Reverse Flash is going to be in the movie.
I don't know. Maybe could be. This is the only opportunity for Ezra to get to do that. So
I think if you do recast Kang, I've seen the question come up a couple of times in this chat as I've been scrolling. I think if you do recast Kang, I think you should keep it with a person of color.
sure. Yeah.
I don't think you should just make it a Whitey Wood Mighty Mike McWhitey, or you go with Jodie Whittaker.
I would be here for that.
Might as well make Kang a woman. I do think. I mean, you could do Sterling K. Brown. You could make it work. The cool thing is you could take someone who's already died in the MCU and then put him in there
Bring back
because
Terrence Howard as King.
Terrence Howard is King. What a bold move that would be! Holy crap, that would be and then it would just create
the whole time.
all kinds of questions for. Wait, was Iron Man 1 in a different multiverse?
Yeah. Or was Kang just hiding out being
that
Iron Man's friend?
Kang the whole time? Like what?
And then did he have to brainwash everybody to not realize when the real Rhodey
Yeah.
took over?
Wait a minute. We do have ourselves one Streamlab to honor here.
Hey.
We must honor the Streamlab.
Somebody in the chat, just going back to that disappointing TV shows question. Riverdale, I was enjoying up until the point I stopped watching it. So even though I've heard it goes downhill, I cannot claim that myself.
Is your phone? Oh, your phone's ringing.
Why?
John, which
It's
one
not
is
ringing
set up
anymore.
here? Boom. Let me just make everything really complicated here.
Do it. The more complicated, the better. That's what people say.
I know, we're not Jabby Koei. Sammy boy. Thank you so much for the Streamlab. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. You know what? Could be better.
Could be.
Could be.
We'll see. Maybe it will get better.
I woke up. It's massive. Anyway, I was wondering, since we are in the reboot, long-awaited sequels era, has it been a success in your opinion, or just milking it? I feel like studios don't care if the script is good if they just get a profit. Well, I mean, fucking Top Gun Maverick is a sensation on all accounts, and that's such a crowd pleasing film. It got nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture and Best Screenplay, and it was $1 billion box office behemoth. I feel like that is. I mean, I feel like there's been. I think this era has made it worth it for films such as Top Gun Maverick.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah.
Because they're always mining, and they're always,
Yeah.
coming back for some legacy. I think right now we're in an interesting point where you have the sort of remaining movie stars who are also getting older, who are now sort of closing these loops and bringing certain characters and stories full circle. And I think that is a bit unique as compared to what I've been aware of in the past, at least. Like, even something like a John Wick 4 feels like sort of some kind of culmination for movie star Keanu Reeves. Top Gun Maverick, obviously a culmination for movie star Tom Cruise. So yeah, I feel like we have that extra element of like emotional maturity going into some of these. But yeah, I mean, it's the same milking process it's always been, and sometimes there are gems.
All depends, but thank you for asking about that.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Doctor Who season
Previous showrunner was returning after season 14 for
It's-
Doctor Who.
It's not Steve. It's Russell T Davies, I think, is taking back over from Chibnall. It's not Stephen Moffat.
I need to
again.
fix this. This is a Bob Iger situation.
I mean,
JPEG Iger.
That's how people are treating it. We just started season 11 over on, or we just finished season 11 over on Patreon too. It wasn't as bad as everyone said it would be.
Yeah, like the movie Pixels. Jaime James 13. Will you watch Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves? Well, first off, thank you for the super chat. I saw it opening night with someone I started dating, and we both loved it, and then we fell in love, and she made sweet, sweet love to me in a Jamaican accent the entire night.
Yeah, we rolled the 20-sided dice to decide on positions.
It was all because of Dungeons and Dragons.
That's right.
She would stand on top of me and snare like a dragon. She did her best Benedict Cumberbatch and mocap impression.
Yeah.
We are going to watch it, but probably not in the theaters. We have a very limited window for when a movie review does well for us out of the theater.
A very specific set of circumstances,
Yeah.
really. It's got to be like a couple days ahead of time. It's got to be outside. It's got to be a certain caliber of movie. It's got to be a blockbuster of sorts.
We don't have we're not one of those channels that does well for like, we released this Saturday, it came out.
Yeah.
We don't just know well enough.
Unfortunately, a Rick Michonne spinoff as well as a Daryl spinoff.
Overall thoughts on Gotham? I just want to put that out there. I thought Gotham was incredible. Incredible. Were you guys embarrassed when Eric Voss said making videos on Jonathan Majors so soon was unethical? Just depends on what the videos were. I think if you watch our videos on it, I think I genuinely think we have a pretty fair way of doing it.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't think our videos are disingenuous.
And I feel like we're apt to
Yeah.
be like, hey, it's a little soon to be jumping to certain conclusions, So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really all in how you handle it.
I mean, some might say, are some people embarrassed when they film a reaction video when clearly they've already reacted to it, when they already watched it beforehand? Like that's one way of saying it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of embarrassing circumstances in the YouTube space that you could find yourself in.
But Eric is a genius, and I if you haven't seen, he's a really, really kind guy. On the way to the live stream that he did here with us, and also I've seen a couple of his videos for Deep Dive, and they're great. They are great videos. The Loki one is pretty fucking amazing, and I really do love the live stream that we did here. It's almost at like 200,000 views.
Yeah,
and it's got like a 45-minute watch time. I'm like, this is the longest watch time video I've ever had. So
Just get Eric to sit in the corner always.
We'll review Mario, Oppenheimer, and Barbie. Mario, I think we're gonna react.
Reaction.
I'm gonna react to
Mario.
that. Might as well. Oppenheimer, theaters.
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 IMAX for
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Barbie. I'm real back and forth. I'm really back and forth. I don't know. Barbie.
Barbie feels like a reactor.
It does, but I'm like
But Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling in the theaters.
You got to see those abs big.
Yeah, I see. Ooh, I see some muscles under that cape. You're goddamn right.
You absolutely are seeing muscles under that cape.
Alex C., I survived the April 1st vids of comic book cast. Were they all trolls?
They can't be. Some of them are they're all true. They're all true. April Facts Day is what we're celebrating now. So
John is getting paid.
is he? Oh no.
John has mainly been doing this out of the kindness of his heart.
That's right.
On this commitment.
I'm
He has-
impoverished.
he's
I just
been
like being here.
in negatives and broke for years.
Yeah. The IRS is actively pursuing my whereabouts.
Like, how come you bring no income ever? Like,
how do you have a straight zero income?
constantly at a zero?
Yes.
You're not even in the negatives. You're just zero, solid zero.
Yeah, that's how I do.
Damn it. Well, thank you for the super chat, Alex C.
Yeah. Well, leave a comment with your favorite of the April 1st comic book cast April Fool's vids.
But thank you guys again I just want to keep saying thank you to everyone who's here to the chat. If you haven't left a like yet, please go ahead and do that. If you have to bounce at any point, if you can't stick around for the whole thing, please leave a like.
That's if you want to leave here, you have to leave a like.
And please go ahead and Mohammed, we're factoring out some stuff. I think the more time goes on with YouTube, the more direct and honest I get over time. I slowly become just more and more. I've already been a pretty transparent guy, and then now I'm like even more transparent.
I think that's a good policy because then people have a better idea of what actually goes into all this.
Abi Thabide. Yeah, no, you can contribute to our Patreon, or you can super chat, or get one of our Zero Edition shirts. Most sold shirt, our most recent one, which mine's still waiting for the mail. Our most recent one, the Child Protection Services shirt. That is our most sold shirt ever, and it did it
T-shirt.
in 24 hours.
Hell's yeah.
I was like. Normally we look at the 30-day window, and I was like, this sold more than any, and the other one's in 24 hours, and that was really, this is a good feeling. I was really proud of that. Snow Shadows, top 5 Batman villains in order. Okay, here we go. We can do this.
Sure.
Go from the heart. All right. I would say, let's try to count backwards a little bit here. Look, I'll get this out of the way just so there's no big anticipation here. The cliche one is Joker, and number 1 for me is Joker.
Sure,
it is Joker.
It is obvious.
Like, at the same time, yeah, like everyone else, I'm like, please stop doing Batman and Joker movies for a while. Like,
let us miss the Joker, please.
But there's a reason Joker is one of the most iconic characters of all time, and why he goes so hand in hand with Batman. Like, he is the best villain for Batman. And so, yeah, I love Joker. As much as I want to pull like odd ones, they're all ones that people really do know. I do love Mr. Freeze. I think Mr. Freeze is an insanely compelling villain, and I'll rearrange the order in just a bit. Deathstroke, while can be across the board for a lot of people, I do think Deathstroke for hand-to-hand combat is pretty incredible. I'm also not in love with Ra's al Ghul the way other people are, so I don't know if I'd even include him on the list. I weirdly like Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter's fun.
I like Mad Hatter
Hatter's
quite a lot. And there's Killer Croc's Penguin.
Hugo
Strange. Hugo Strange is pretty great. Okay, so I think for 5 I go Mad Hatter.
Okay.
4 I go Clayface.
Oh, fun.
3 I go Mr. Freeze. Yeah, I'm also not in. Like, when I read Penguin in comics, I'm not that drawn to him.
Okay.
But I do like him on screen a lot.
Sure.
Where did I put Hugo Strange? Did I already say him?
5? Did you put him?
No, it's Mad Hatter.
Oh, Mad Hatter's 5.
2. Oh, I forget about the
Not sure.
female ones, like Poison Ivy. I love Poison Ivy. I
Yeah, I was gonna say she's on my
I
list.
would put Poison Ivy as 3. And
Probably 3 for me too. Yeah.
no, I bump her to 2 and Mr. Freeze at 3, and
Okay.
then I put Joker at 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your 5?
Joker, Scarecrow at number 2, Poison
How
Ivy.
the fuck did I skip Scarecrow? I've come up with a whole story idea surrounding Scarecrow. How did I totally blank on Scarecrow?
It's all good. There's so Batman has a great rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joker.
Yeah, I
Scarecrow.
gotta swap out Mad Hatter.
Sure. And then Poison Ivy. This is a John list, so I'll say Phantasm and Solomon Grundy.
Nice. Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I think Phantasm's great.
Yeah. And that's such a great movie. Like, it's such a lovely, wonderful movie.
Yeah, I think he's got a great rogues gallery, but I was trying to compile an answer like, who am I definitely drawn to live action and comics?
Yeah. And who would I want to play with if I had the opportunity?
Yeah.
To write.
Let's see here. This sounds like an April Fool's joke, but I think it's legit. Tommy Wiseau has a film coming out tomorrow called Big Sharp. By the way, I would love to interview you guys again. Oh, thank you so much. Formerly PCP.
Oh, Spencer, what's up?
What's up, buddy? Yeah, I do. I wonder. I haven't. The only Tommy Wiseau movie I've seen is Room. I haven't seen the other ones because I always wonder if it's gonna try to be so bad it's good, or is it gonna capture that lightning in a bottle? Okay.
Yeah, I thought The House That Dripped Blood on Alex Short was pretty fun, but it is in that sort of like we're embracing the meme kind of caliber. I mean, like, this is a film directed by him, I think. So I mean, and if it's got a shark in it, like, that's not what I was expecting at all. So I mean, I'm excited to see. I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I'm excited to see whatever weirdness comes out of it. I haven't seen Best Friends. I haven't seen a lot of his other like random appearances, but. Yeah, I mean, if it's him directing, I have to imagine that it's gonna be a Tommy Wiseau joint. I would love to watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like it. It seems like it will have to be a strange and interesting experience, no matter what.
Okay, yeah. I might watch it. Who knows?
Do a full reaction.
Maybe. That's a big maybe.
I'll check it out at some point.
Giant list of things, yeah, to go in order of. And I like doing the weekly live streams. This is a thing that I feel I really do enjoy the live streams, and I want to make it a regular, not a daily thing, but like a once a week thing. I think it's a really enjoyable experience, and it's kind of like I don't know how to put it. It's kind of so there's such a process between filming and editing. And whereas here there is something that's like a refresher and a reset of like a palate cleanser in a weird way. I don't know for the brain to just do a live stream because it's just so like off the cuff and personal and
we get to spend time directly with you.
Not like trying to cut or insert. It's such a different. It's more. I do enjoy it. It makes it. It makes feel more connected to audience.
Yeah, I just love the energy. Like, live streams are so fun. Like, I'm grateful to be here today because this is always a highlight to join you guys live on any day of the week.
Joker, Scarecrow, Riddler. I like Riddler. I do like Riddler. There's something about Riddler though that I don't know. I'm not as in love. I love Riddler, but he's not my top 5 for some reason.
It's not the one I'm like looking forward to.
It's
every
strange.
Time. Yeah,
and I weirdly totally understand why they constantly want to bring him for live action. Even loved him in Gotham. Thought he was excellent. Like, my God, what an underrated performance. And he was like a series regular. It was amazing. And I understand why people love him so much. But at the same time, there's something about him where I'm not like always the most. Even though I don't know. Now that I feel like I'm talking myself into it now. Because even like the Batman games and shit, I'm like, you know what? Oh, it is a when you get Riddler right, like when you get it right, like he's pretty fucking compelling.
Sure,
a game of mystery and cat and mouse.
You have to, you just have to have really smart writing around it.
Yeah. All right, Rant Lamore. This is really easy. Just watch that happen. So let's see here. Oh, that's a really nice way to put it.
Eh.
99% of the time when I try to be honest about something like that, PK Production Studios, it leads to insane backfire. Thank you so much.
That's very kind.
Yeah, thank you. Tasm 2 killed it. When your film is favorite makers, can we get a real Rejects movie in the style of Fablemans? Yeah. I've always thought it'd be more like a Michael Gondry movie.
Oh, sure.
I think a real Rejects movie would be more that.
Yeah.
I
it's
haven't seen Be
great
Kind
pull.
Rewind, but I imagine it would be like that from the trailer. I remember it being.
From my vague recollection of, I have seen Be Kind Rewind, and yes, I think it would be
Yeah.
in what I recall of it. Yeah.
There does need to be a level of trust with the audience.
We are Jack
Absolutely.
Black and Mos Def.
I appreciate that. Samunuski, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Thank you again. The super chats do not go underrated.
At all.
Underrecognized. I mean, thank you. They're definitely do not take it for granted.
No, like you're all like any and all of your generosity is like very, none of you have to
Like-
be here contributing anything.
Like
so,
we get messages on Patreon, and I really try to respond to everyone, and I'm often very late. But for those who have messaged me on Patreon, you'll know that I do try to respond. So thank you. Do you think Gunn's DCU will cater for comic book fans who enjoy the more serious, mature stuff like me? I've lost that faith with the MCU. I miss movies like Logan, The Dark Knight, and Man of Steel. Only have Reeves' Batman. No. As much as there is a reverence and vulgarity in the Suicide Squad, there's also a lot of maturity to it. I think it depends on the property. That being said, with the properties that were announced, I feel like the voice of it will probably draw. There was this thing that came out recently with Victoria about Victoria Alonso, and then how a director was talking with this very credible reporter about how Victoria Alonso pretty much stated that like the directors don't direct the movies, we direct them. And that's something that I think most of us already picked up on, that it's very committee driven with its films. And there was a great point of how that's why they pick out these independent filmmakers who have no experience with visual effects films, because it causes you, it's essentially like creating like a codependent relationship where they're like, we don't really know what to do, so we're going to trust that you put it together,
Yeah.
And then that's why a lot of them end up kind of having the same look to them, not just in the visual effects, but kind of all around. And I think Gunn will let the director's voice be more of the conversation in conjunction with the filmmaking.
I feel like the directors will be part of the committee.
Yes.
In a more vital way.
Like, just the fact that he's embracing the Elseworld side offhand and like embracing Joker, embracing the Batman, letting those exist, to me speaks volumes that he will also help allow that when it comes to, I don't think they'll just let him do whatever, but I think he'll help encourage to bring out more of the unique voice per film.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Certainly. And I think that they will definitely cater to and honor the, more mature side of the universe, but I think it will just be more in proportion to what the comics actually are, which is you'll have a lot of stuff that is a little bit more light, a little bit more aspirational to younger viewers, but you will certainly have your mature caliber stuff. I just don't really ever foresee it going into the direction again where anytime soon where it's mostly geared toward that mature, dark, gritty kind of tone. I feel like you might not get as much, but you will get some.
True. See, the stopwatch helps.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Create a stopwatch when it came to Coy doing his solo videos here.
Yeah.
Like, Coy, we're doing a ranking video. You can't talk for 10 minutes
about
when we got
25
50
movies
of these to go through.
We could have 200-minute ranking video. Yeah. But, I feel like people slag comic book things that aim toward the youth, and I'm like, that's why they were invented to begin with, and we shouldn't lose sight of that. But, yeah, also, there will be maturity.
Depends per property.
Yeah.
I don't think John should play and stream Last of Us 1 because I think that's part of the joy of...
So I should wait till the show's done.
Yeah.
To do any of that? Okay.
Because I don't think they're going to continue it I don't think they're going to continue it after season 2 because I think they're going to divide season 2 into 2 seasons.
2 seasons, yeah.
Because the game is forever.
That's all I've heard. Is the first game is kind of short, and the second game is really long.
Yeah, the second game's a long time. Like when I replayed the first one, I beat it in a weekend, and then the second one, I was like, oh, it took me like at least a week and a half to get through.
Well, and then maybe by then I'll have a PS5 to play off of, or a PS7 or whatever we're on. Because lately I've been like, okay, how do I hook my PS3 up to the TV for streaming?
Because even though part 2 is very different, I still feel like it will create a certain kind of lens of comparison and watching performance, and I think that's part of the joy of John and Tara's reactions to that. Is they have no true foundation,
no frame of reference.
Did talk about. I can't wait for Stranger Things season 5. I don't know who's gonna die. I don't think they like killing off people. I gave a very long, detailed answer, MJ, to Superman and Lois coverage.
Yeah.
Can't go through it again. Andrew Myrick. Ooh, interesting. What do you guys think of Grace Randolph's hate towards Jessica Chastain? Well, thank you for the super chat. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to report you for child abuse. I think it's,
leave Jessica Chastain alone.
I think it's funny.
Sure.
Because it's become a meme in and of itself.
Yeah.
What I find more interesting is the James Gunn. Like, I want to say this. I don't like YouTube beefs, and I know I make fun of like pretty much everyone. When it comes to Grace Randolph, we've briefly chatted. We get along, and she's been very kind to me, especially on all accounts. And whatever jokes I make, just trust me, they're all in fun jest. They're never in like I'm trying to tear this person down. And I do that about a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah.
But I know Grace Randolph can often be a target, especially on Twitter. But I do find it more fun when I'm like, oh, something about James Gunn disagreeing with her.
Sure. Well, because he's going to jump in there direct.
Yeah.
Like so many of these people, you get the sense that maybe this will get back to them, but I don't know. Not even that seems unlikely. Whereas James Gunn, he's going to be there talking direct.
Well, I mean, I know James Gunn has definitely had his issues with Grace, and that like he's made some serious. And there was something recently with like Dylan O'Brien being cast, and then he quote tweeted, not in a nasty way. He was just saying, like, I don't even know who this person is.
Yeah. And then he followed up being like, okay, I looked him up and I've seen him before. But
because of the history of prior interaction of, like, a real insult that he threw at Grace before, it, led to that again. She often goes trending, and it's usually not.
Usually for some kind of controversy.
But my direct, any kind of interaction or even public speaking with her and I has always been, it's been positive. So, I don't. But I think the meme itself of Grace Randolph hating Jessica Chastain, I have a weird thing where I have a very difficult time with Peter Sarsgaard.
Sure.
Sleepy eyes. There's something about him where once in a while he does a performance where I'm like, you know what? You were good. I thought you were one of the best parts of that Green Lantern movie. But more often than not, I'm like, more often than not, I'm like, I don't get why you get work. Like, I don't.
And he's watching the stream right now. He's about to go tweet you.
And that's just my opinion. And I just made it. I made a joke out of it because it's because I know that I can also. The first movie I saw him in was Kinsey, but at the same time, I don't have a genuine hate for the guy.
Sure.
It's just a joke to me now.
Yeah. I think it kind of borders on, it's just like this guy has his thing, his look, and it's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny enough. I know a few people who feel that way about Jessica Chastain in particular. Daesh is always watching. What's up? Thank you for taking a break from John Wick to join us.
Nice,
dude. Keep an eye out for Daesh's John Wick reaction. Always watching. What's up, Roby?
I know we are divisive here when it comes to the King Dynasty mid-credit scene.
The idea is cool. The execution is funky. Be funky fresh. Johnny, favorite movie. Thank you for being here and for contributing. Favorite movie genre and favorite movie theater food.
Favorite movie genre? What's your favorite movie genre?
My favorite umbrella is horror. Horror movies of all varieties are usually my what I am compelled toward.
Okay.
Is that
What's your favorite movie theater food, Johnny?
I mean, we didn't grow up having the movie theater food, so when I started like really going to the cinema with you, and like when I let go of that, like just the classic popcorn has become such a like when you get good movie theater popcorn, ain't nothing like it. But aside from that, like I don't know, I like the classics. I don't need necessarily like one of those AMC's where they're bringing you like a 4-course meal. So it's like if it's not popcorn, then it's like a hot dog or a nacho or something like that. The classics.
Both times I've seen John Wick, I did not get popcorn, and that was tough.
I know. I
That was
bet.
tough. It's just the hardest. I think out of the biggest challenge of eating healthier these past few weeks has been saying no to popcorn at theaters.
Sure.
That's been the hardest part.
Oh.
It's such a habit. I
Yeah.
just want to learn. But now I pack like healthy snacks. I become that.
You become
motherfucker.
Andrew.
Become that loser.
You become Andrew, who's like,
Let
here's
me
some
eat my keto cereal.
yeah. Here's a kiwi slice. Let's go. Or whatever it happens to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I become that guy. But
Now I sneak Topo Chicos into the theater.
but it is hard. It is hard saying no because I love popcorn at theaters. It's a perfect experience.
Yeah, especially when you get a good that's why I missed the ArcLight. They had such good popcorn.
I
And the Lemley and NoHo's going away. They got good popcorn.
I remember. I think we saw a test screening for Al Pacino documentary called Salome. And I have this weird memory of young Greg and John in their teens.
Yes.
It's just looking over at John and how he was eating popcorn back in the day. Just like,
yeah, I know. You have
just like, by the way, just a big handful. And you go,
I gotta flex.
Just like
This is me trying to offset the calories by flexing it up a little bit.
I've never forgotten the image of just looking over and it's this big.
I know, and now whenever I grab like a few kernels, and it's like you get that fingerful where like there's just unwieldy kernels sticking to each other, and now I'm like, am I going back to that?
It was like a cartoonishly like you put a guy in a fat suit. It's just like,
yeah, man, you've taught me how to
Like a-
eat
like
at the
a villain
theaters.
in his suit.
You've taught me how to breathe at the theaters. You've really shaped me as a moviegoer, and I appreciate it. It's for the better of all audiences. It's really funny. I've seen some 4DX screenings lately, and it is surprisingly hard to keep a hold of popcorn in that environment.
I love the AMC commercials from people with their popcorn.
Yeah.
At that point, if I'm leaning in, I'm not going to be like eating my popcorn.
You're not gonna be hugging the
I
barrel.
can be eating my fresh. Or when they're watching a film in the trailers and something spooky happens, and I'm like, I've never done that.
Yeah, no. People in movie ads.
I don't
like,
think I've ever
have-
even seen that happen.
Yeah, they have infomercial hands where just like anything happens, and they're just like, "Whoa, the popcorn! It's everywhere!"
They just dump it on the person.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Holy shit! That's amazing.
Spill it on the
The
person.
magic of
person.
cinema. Yeah, man. And of course, just I love people applauding. I feel like they got to next time have what's her name, Nicole Kidman. She doesn't eat at the theater. She's not throwing her popcorn. We should all take after Nicole.
I know she rents out the whole theater like a bitch.
It's like an elite.
This is the best way to experience it. No one here at AMC.
Private screening I paid thousands of dollars for.
Sam the Manly. Thanks for the super chat. Charlie Sheen as Wolverine. That'd be nuts.
Oh, cool. Let's do it.
Claws. Sam
Claws
the Manly.
winning.
Your all's list of cameos for Secret Wars. I could list this off in 5 seconds. Everyone will be in Secret Wars. Everyone will be in Secret Wars. It'll be at the point where if they're not in it, the movie will be rendered disappointing. I'm thinking get Dolph Lundgren's Punisher
Yes.
in there.
Oh, Hasselhoff's Nick Fury.
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
Do it.
Do it all. Just make room for just one giant spinning shot.
Yeah.
So Eric Voss can have a field day of trying to point everyone out.
Italian Spider-Man, all of it.
Do it.
Do
I'm
it.
not even kidding. You just need one shot,
Who played Captain
One
America
shot,
in that
and they're all
old-ass
canon.
Captain America movie?
Just one shot, Everyone's
Everyone's
canning.
Tom Cruise Iron Man. Do it.
One shot.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe, for letting me know. Doe Eyes. Who do you think will be revealed as a Skrull? And oh no, John.
Have we lost it?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, John. No.
Oh, we got it. We got it. We're good. Oh, we're so
Who do you think will be revealed as a Skrull in Secret Invasion?
good. Everyone. Tom Cruise Iron Man, Nick Fury, David Hasselhoff.
I mean that's part of the fun of the Secret Invasion comic run, to my understanding.
So who's been a Skrull all this
I
time?
think the game will be of like who's a Skrull will be more so in people who are introduced as humans in the episodes or whatever, or like, oh, is this Nick Fury interaction we're having? Is that a Skrull right now, or is that the actual Nick Fury? You know, I think it's going to be more of that cat and mouse game, or whatever new humans are introduced.
Yeah, is this an actual authentic character? Is this a Skrull? I feel like, like there might be maybe one or two where it's like, all this time they've been a Skrull or something, but I don't know. I feel like that would be hard to justify with any of the characters who have had solo movies.
Yeah.
You know, because then it would create a weird canonical gap for people, I think, if you do too much of that.
You know, I think it's going to be way more. I don't think it's going to be as. What's the one part that I think people are kind of expecting when you hear Secret Invasion? But to my understanding, it's probably going to be a lot more streamlined and really focused on fleshing out the Skrulls as characters, where you're going to have like one camp. Because if I'm not mistaken, I've heard some of the information from the Vanity Fair article. I didn't read the whole thing yet, but that. Yeah, picking up from Captain Marvel, where Nick Fury promised them a home, that has not clearly happened for them, and that Emilia Clarke is the daughter of Talos, and apparently she was like whoever the little girl Skrull was in Captain Marvel.
Okay, gotcha.
This is not a rumor. This is fucking what Samuel Jackson said. Whoever the little girl was, that's who's grown up, and then she has kind of a resentment towards Nick Fury. For not
delivering on a promise.
Exactly, and then some tension with her father as well. So it's kind of like you do have some factions here occurring with them, because I'm sure Talos is not bad, and I'm sure even the bad Skrulls are probably not going to be portrayed as super villainous. But they just have a different philosophy and feel unfairly treated. They need a home. You know, I'm sure I'm sure they'll do some acts that we don't agree with. But I'm under the impression they're not going to fully portray them as just like they are villains, or maybe they get to episode 8 and then they just do that.
Yeah. And then they commit a mass murder.
Yeah,
They'll be like the more agreeable version of the Flag Smashers from the portrayal of the Flag.
It's a show, right? Not a movie.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
is the show. Yeah.
Okay, it is a show.
And then Secret Wars is the movie.
No, yeah, I know Secret Wars is a movie. I'm saying
no, it's a series.
I'm just making sure it's a series.
I'm pretty sure.
Because there's sometimes I see people say movie, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. No, it's a series.
Carlos, we answered this, my friend. Jason Momoa wasn't wrong about the Snyder Cut. Richard Nixon, I have been working out.
Oh, thanks for joining. And you're not a crook. And it's going to be a 6-episode series, no doubt.
Whoa. We can't spoil John Wick in here. Move past this fast.
Whoa, no John Wick spoilers. Protect John Wick at all costs.
I do think they should end it.
I know. I saw that. I don't know if it was an April Fool's headline, but that's just sort of like, the sheer amount of money is making them consider a John Wick 5. And I'm like, no. Just leave it for right now. Just let it be. Come back in 10 years. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, or he's 70.
Yeah, and then try it. But yeah, for right now, it's such a beautiful piece. Just let it be. Let it be.
Gonna need a gun.
I'm gonna need a cortisone injection.
Going to kill you.
I filed my AARP.
I need to go to the doctor. He's always confused in that movie.
My prostate is swollen.
Pretty sure I have internal bleeding.
That dude's bones are mush right now.
I think the lines he does best in that movie are when the lines are written like questions.
Yes.
And then He takes declarative sentences and then turns those into questions. Is what it's funny.
Is that, yeah, he's
so
always
is
a
a
little
hint
confused.
of confusion. There's like a slight question mark to
Yeah.
every one of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. Are you going to start a war? Or just give me a gun.
I really enjoy this format. It's very chat inclusive.
Oh, good. Aw. Yeah, it took a while to figure out how to best to incorporate the chat, but we love you guys. We want you to feel seen and heard and touched and felt and fondled.
And then sue us.
And then, yes, show us on the doll where the real rejects touched your soul.
NFX Visuals. Have you guys checked out Barry Hubbo? Thank you for the super chat. I highly recommend it. Stars Bill Hader and Henry Winkler.
Oh, Greg loves him a Barry.
Barry, to me, is one of the best television shows of all time. And I do not say that lightly. Bill Hader is. I'm gonna look up.
He should be Clayface.
Is he? He would be a great Clayface. Is he directing any movies? Because there are episodes where I'm like, you are one of the best directors I've ever seen. Like,
add that to the list of best directors working right now.
Because I just don't know of any movies he's directed. I mean, has he directed any movies?
Happen, right? That's for acting.
Damn, because if you guys haven't seen Barry, it is this. There's no real way to describe Barry. It starts off like as an LA noir dark dramedy, but then it just sometimes turns into the coolest action shit you've ever seen. There's this chase sequence in season 3 done with no music on like that goes into the highways and neighborhoods. It's no music the entire time. And it is so gripping and intense,
wow.
and it's a Bill Hader directed episode.
Oh, I'm excited.
And you feel like you really let them direct the episode. You don't. It's not controlled.
Here, scroll to the right, and then go to director.
He's only directed for Barry,
and there's no upcoming.
That's what I mean. I'm like, when's he going to direct a film?
It's got to happen.
He is a phenomenal director, and he's directed like so much of Barry.
Yeah. No,
the pilot was written and directed by him. I think so.
Mightily impressive either way. I mean, even if it wasn't, I mean, the fact that once you get to like season 3 or 4, it's like he's directing it all.
And it's a great character study, and it's odd, but it never feels like the show is in conflict or trying to come up with something, and there are some of the funniest shit I've ever seen on television, and some of the most intense moments I've ever seen. Like there's nothing like Barry. It's great, and I'm keeping it for me. I'm not going to react to it.
I'll react.
I'm not opening mine. It would be a good reaction, John.
Have
you not seen it?
No, I've only seen one part of an episode.
You haven't seen any of Barry?
Not really.
Oh my God, it's like the best thing ever.
I mean, I might have watched the pilot way back, and I saw a piece of an episode where there's this barista who keeps giving people advice. It was very funny.
Yeah, it's funny. That's in season 3, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't seen much at all of Barry.
Cruz Rivera.
That's one of those shows where I'm like, I want to watch this on a consistent basis so I can really take in and yeah. So I've been like saving it for some.
I love that show.
Arbitrary
Man.
thing.
It is a phenomenal, and they're short seasons, and the average episode's only a half hour.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
like they keep that shit tight. But it's great. Yeah. Cruz. The next season is the last season, and I think, and I'm glad it is. It should be the last season.
Yeah, it seems like it's staying just as long as it needs to.
Weird day and age where we end things on a 4.
I know. Yeah.
Cruz Rivera. Do you think Seth Rogen? Thank you for the super chat.
It's tetralogy time
Second
now.
one. Do you think Seth Rogen? My God, what is wrong with this mouse? And Evan Goldberg could helm a Marvel DC property. They're basically the Jon Favreau of Amazon Prime and TMNT. Yeah, I do. I think they'd be a great addition to anything. I mean,
They could be a new James Gunn
when
in
it
a
comes to
way.
like Preacher and The Boys, like they really know comics,
Sure.
especially Seth Rogen. They really know comics. I feel like they'd be. I don't think they should do Marvel. I feel like they'd be a fantastic addition to the DC universe, though.
Sure. Yeah, that's the riper fit. Yeah, if they were going to do a Marvel, I feel like they would have to do a special kind of what ify kind of project.
Yeah,
Something where they can direct it themselves.
I mean, it might be too similar to Boys. I mean, they're not the same thing, but something like Authority. I'm like, that might be a cool Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg property.
Yeah, I mean they can certainly do it.
Yeah.
Give them Booster Gold.
Would you like to see Bad Batch live action in Mando? No, because I think it spoils the fate and future of them for me.
Sure.
Whoa, that's interesting. News of a super group being created by United States.
Ministry of
Nora from
Rammstein.
Miami. Hey, Nora.
Nora.
The writing of Avatar 4 is writing Fantastic Four. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I think the addition of this writer is great because he's worked more on like serious sci-fi projects, like
Epics.
yeah, not the writers who they had before, which did like funny stuff.
They were more like animated comedy.
Yeah, this is like Snowpiercer and shit.
Yeah,
like this,
showrunner from Snowpiercer.
this is more. This will give it a different type of sci-fi heft to it. I believe.
Yeah,
you
I think
know.
it's heartening actually. As much as
I
people,
think it's a good pick. I think it's a really good pick for Fantastic Four.
yeah, it's a good pick, and I think as much as people have been panicked hearing certain things like this, like oh they're rewriting Blade, oh they're rewriting Fantastic Four, I'm actually happy about that because it shows
Yeah.
that they're paying attention to one of the most important parts of the process of these movies that they haven't been nailing lately, which is the scripts.
Yeah.
So good news.
Um.
And there are other writers. I'm sure some of their work will make it in there.
Yeah, Andreas, we have shopzeroedition.com for our shit.
Jump on it
For our shit.
for our poops.
Did you hear about the Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
They're making an anime at Netflix with all of the original movie cast anyway, and I believe the comic creator is behind it as well.
Yeah, we're gonna do it, man.
We're gonna watch it.
We're gonna react to it.
I'm excited. Let's do it. We'll read all the Scott Pilgrim novels.
And I don't love that movie
I
like
know you
everyone
don't.
else.
I feel like that's maybe the last. I liked Last Night in Soho a lot. I like Baby Driver, but I feel like Scott Pilgrim. Did that come before World's End? That might be the last one I loved.
You just there's something about that movie that I'm like I love parts of it. I do. There are elements that I really love.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm like, yeah, I like it. But I'm not everyone else when it comes to that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But I know like that movie's got a hardcore like people eat that shit up. Daniel Salazar. What time is it, John? Okay, yeah, we should end fairly soon. What's up from Miami? Well, what's up from your super chat?
Yeah, yo.
Who do you guys think will play Doctor Doom in the MCU? I want them to cast them so we can stop getting this question,
I
Daniel
know.
Salazar. I'd love to see Killian Murphy.
The writer from Avatar 2 is going to play Doctor Doom
I think Bill Hader should play.
as well. I would love that. Doctor Doom.
You can do different voices. He's one of the best
No,
voice impressionists ever.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to imagine his Bill Hader voice.
Actual
under
Bill
that
Hader.
mask. Yeah.
Who's like a different pick?
Bill
Bill Skarsgård.
Yes. Ron Perlman.
I think if they go old, they should go Clancy Brown.
Sure. Yep. Clancy B is he's in that position now where you're like, yeah, you need a heavy but who can do kind of the range and play in the middle of morality. Get Clancy Brown. I'm glad he's getting his flowers. Mr. Krabs deserves it.
Well, I think you're a little more used to Clancy Brown in these like powerful, almost regal like roles.
Now, yeah.
Right.
I've seen some
Like-
of his work from when he was like much younger.
But like he was essentially the main bad guy in Dexter, the reboot, and he's like a very he's just great in that. And they're like for a lot of the show, he's just like the like a nice guy. and,
Okay.
yeah, he's great. He's excellent in that, and it's very different than what I'm used to seeing him cast as, which is like show up, he's stoic, and
Yeah,
you know?
totally. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad there was at least something of value in that last
Yeah, he's
Dexter
great.
season.
Do you think Bo and Dim will share the throne? Yeah. You get half. You
Definitely.
get this half.
Just get off my half.
Get off my half. Just quit squeezing in here, man.
Yeah, just squeeze your butt on the side of there. Yeah, I hope. Sorry, bitch. Ramirez just said. Jonathan Byers. They need to give Jonathan Byers something. If they don't, I think that will be a genuine like markdown for the series. If they don't pay off Jonathan in a satisfying way.
Thank you, Annie Castro. Nice to see you here.
Love you and your comments.
Tony Coelho. Good choice for Supergirl in the Supergirl movie if they don't go with the actress from The Flash. It's actually Anya Taylor-Joy would be interesting.
Yes, she would. And I mean, she's blonde, so I could see it. I don't necessarily see her as Supergirl, though. I would cast her as other DC characters first. But then again, I don't know. Would you cast her?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? She's fine.
She's good. She's in a lot of stuff. I wouldn't be like excited necessarily. I would want to be taken a little by surprise, I guess.
Like, there's something with people's careers when you do get to the point where you feel like you see them like too much.
Yeah, totally. And
You do get to that point. And I think Ryan Gosling, if there's one thing you can credit that guy for doing, he really knows how to give you time away from him. Yeah,
totally.
Because there was 1 year where there was the year he blew up. He had Drive, Ides of March, right? And Crazy Stupid Love.
Mm-hmm.
3 very different movies, 3 very different performances. And then he was starting to catch on to, that might be getting too much.
People were memeing me all.
Yeah.
I'm becoming everyone's bae. I need to step back.
Then he took a wild break, came back with Gray Man. Now there's another period.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna come out with Barbie. Like I think he's really smart about that.
Yep.
Where you don't feel like you get too much Ryan Gosling.
Sure, and I feel like people could take notes from that.
Yeah, and, somehow he really knew to do that.
Yeah.
Like early on too, like with the sensation rise of him.
Sure.
And Anya Taylor-Joy's like almost there for me. Where I'm like, she hasn't given me a bad performance, but it is like
she is
I feel like I see you a lot now.
She is one of like the short list of names that comes up, especially if it's like a blonde character. I mean, at the point where she's playing Princess Peach, you're like, okay, we're pretty much there, you know. But I mean, she's great. Yeah,
she's a
I've
great
enjoyed
actress,
all of her performances thus far. So.
I think she would be a good one. I think she would be great.
I'd be curious to see her bulk up.
And we haven't really given her like the really big action role yet. Other
You
than
didn't
her work in
see
New Mutants.
the New Mutants?
I saw most of it.
Oh, that's a John answer. I haven't seen any of it.
I watched it on the plane, and then the plane landed when there was 15 minutes left.
Oh no, you'll never know how it ends.
To this day, I'm like, I don't know how that movie ends.
How does Jonathan Byers? Oh, sorry, I meant to say Will up above, but yeah, how does Jonathan Byers and Arya Stark and you know the witch get out of it?
I don't know. I don't remember the movie.
Good.
Robo 96. Oh, here we go. Hey guys, what do you think would create a greater disruption to the world order? Trump being reelected president, or Coy actually disliking something?
He's
probably Coy.
Probably Coy. Yeah, if he just like came out and like truly panned something, I think people would be out in the streets looting.
Coy's a wildly unhealthy association with the internet.
He's always on, boy.
He's got such a strong opinion about internet and comments and feedback and Twitter, and he's always like so engaged with it. He's like, "No, I use it as fuel to work out." I'm like, "You're just justifying your excuses for this addiction to the toxicity side."
Yeah. You're just addicted to the conflict.
I'm just like, you'd just be so much happier because it's like, but no, I mean, I think Coy can dislike certain things.
Yeah, he dislikes the Irishman.
But he's more respectful, too, as well, when it comes to disliking something. I think he does a good job in handling disliking something.
Yeah.
Because
he's never dogpiling on something or like...
Unless you put him in a spoiler talk. Then he might unleash on a spoiler level. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. But usually it doesn't seem like he takes joy in
that.
So it's a more sober portrayal of the negative opinion than just like, oh, man, I fucking hated this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a good respect for all the work that goes into these things. As somebody who engages with so many people involved with all these things, I get the sense that, yeah, he has a good amount of respect for the undertaking.
Tony Coelho. I miss the Arclight.
I do too.
Yeah, man.
Missing it.
It's classic theater.
I drove past the Cinerama Dome just recently and shed a tear. A single tear. A popcorn tear.
Hamid knew the Salome movie we were talking about.
Hey, that's right.
Christian unpronounceable. Mephisto?
Definitely. He's here. He's with all of us. He's in the details.
You know, there's something about after all that WandaVision stuff, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even excited for Mephisto anymore.
Once it gets here, it won't live up to any of the weird madness that brought us.
They're like Mephisto's what I wish I wish they didn't reveal that Mephisto's coming.
Yeah. So far out, and
because imagine you're watching Ironheart, which is the show you expect Mephisto to show up in.
Sure. Yeah.
But imagine you're watching Ironheart, and then Mephisto suddenly appears. It'd be like,
what is happening?
He's here.
Yeah. I mean, they can't. It's so hard for them to keep anything secret now. But also, I guess I appreciate when they try, because then if you have people leaking stuff, like, you understand that that's just part of the thing. But like, for them just to be like, no, he's coming.
I mean, they managed to get the Quicksilver with Evan Peters like a week before it came out, like a week before the episode premiered.
Yeah,
so they're this close.
Yes.
Same thing with the cameos in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
they were this close until like a couple days before.
Yeah,
it's a real bummer. It was the day of the premiere.
Uh-huh.
That's when it came out. When we went to the premiere.
Sure.
It's like, oh God.
Oh no. Yeah. The cat's always going to come out of the bag, but it would be nice not to know. I mean, I've heard that rumor about what the Mephisto project could be, and if there's any truth to that, sounds like fun. But also, I would much rather be shocked.
Yeah.
Especially after all the build-up and fan-out hubbub.
John Wick 4, and I'm glad that's one of the reasons we're talking about the sound design. Watching it in IMAX with the sound design and picture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't regret waiting. I don't regret waiting to react to it here. I love that movie. I think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is. And like, one of the most, like, it's tailor-made for the IMAX experience. Like, the IMAX experience is so exquisite.
They didn't shoot it on IMAX cameras, but I do understand. You get that right perfect seat, and you get to take in the picture. Because I think like Dolby would be more comfortable, especially for the runtime, to like sit up with your feet. Like that sounds way more comfortable for that than. Because IMAX has this weird thing where they're like, how do we make our seats really uncomfortable for everyone?
I know. And I'm like at an AMC where like every one of them looks like a space station now. I'm like, how did you not get the cushy chairs?
There's something about specifically IMAX where they go, we don't need to give them comfortable seats, do we?
I wonder if it's like a cost concern of like, it's a specialized theater. We only have like one of them per, or usually only have like one of them per series of screens. So maybe to get enough people in, these are the chairs that make it so that we can fit enough. I don't know.
But I still love IMAX. Like if I'm going to watch Oppenheimer on IMAX.
I am so excited.
I'm going to watch not Ghost Protocol, Dead Nation of
Reckoning.
Tom Cruise. I'm going to watch that on IMAX. Like there are certain movies where no matter what, I'm watching IMAX. However, I'm going to be a little more selective now that if I'm like, well, I do want to watch in theaters, but I'm going to Dolby because sometimes the IMAX seats are not the most comfortable.
Sure. Although I will say the least comfortable way to experience John Wick Chapter 4 is in 40X.
Did you watch it in 40X?
Yeah, I joined my friend, and it was the kind of thing where he was like, "I'm going. You want to come?" And I'm like, I gotta see it again. Let's do this. And I haven't seen you in a while. Let's do this. And he was like, "Yeah, okay, 40X." And I almost didn't go because I was like, I know already that this is going to be too much for this experience, and it's gonna be like I'm gonna probably be working against the experience to enjoy the movie. And it was a bit like that because
I would hate that
because they do calibrate those chairs to really go hard, and so like it's just like you're sitting there getting beat up for 3 hours, and like when cars crash or anybody shoots anybody, it's just like and like you spend the whole time just trying to like activate your core so you can offset the motion and just see the screen, and I was just like, this was still a terrific film. Like the film is so good that I still loved it and had a great time. But I was like, this kind of movie I will probably skip in 4DX. In the future.
Well, sometimes 4DX can make you focus on your chair
Yeah, totally.
and what's happening in this vicinity than the movie when it's supposed to be a seamless, immersive experience
Yeah,
where it's enhancing it. But that is
you're just getting pummeled. It's like it elevated Quantumania, and it was the right experience for that. It was the perfect immersive fantasy. But for something like John Wick, it's just like dark, serious, a lot of violence.
Yeah.
It's just like you're just getting pummeled.
Jinx916, thank you so much for the super chat. What am I trying to say today, John? Would you guys be up for watching The Expanse, or have any of you watched already?
It's been recommended me several times. I've known almost nothing about it, but it's been recommended to me a number of times, and I know a lot of people really love it.
Maybe.
So who knows?
That might be. I mean, it's been a couple of. I have a list of. Again, criteria is how interested are we in actually just watching it. That's why I never covered Severance. And then someone, I think it was Michael Tesler, told me the plot of Severance, and I was like, "Is that what it's about? Damn!"
Oh, I don't even know what it's about.
And then
I just know people love it.
And will our audience be interested in it? And I have a solid third one, and it's kind of I keep forgetting what that one is. But there is a 3 criteria of it.
Oh, you mean our interest, the audience interest, and then just the exchange of value for time.
Well, what is will it attract new people too, or will it be a reach?
Will it grow? Will it reach out beyond? Yeah, the couple people asking for it.
I believe Val is in Secret Invasion. Yes,
I would imagine so.
I don't know this Mustache Girl Amazon commercial.
Nor do I.
We should get Goose back in Secret Invasion.
Hope so. It's the best character, Goose.
Oh, we got 2 back-to-backs here. R. Rambo.
Rio Rambo.
Thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you guys who have left a like so far. Do you think Monica would be in Secret Invasion? I mean, it stands to reason that she would appear in Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe a scroll version, though.
Uh-oh.
I think we'll get shit like that.
Sure.
You know, I don't think they do something like Chris Evans here. What?
Cap is just back. Yeah. No, I think we'll get a few legacy fake outs as scrolls. I think we'll get some. I think it's more likely that you'd see like a Val or a Monica or something in here.
Yeah.
And I would be very much open to that. I'm very excited to and with the involvement of coming out of Captain Marvel anyway, and then you've got the Marvels. I feel like even though Secret Invasion is not like the connective tissue, there's certainly ample opportunity given that universe.
Connie saying, "Thank you so much for being here, Connie, my dear.
Miss you too.
Miss you guys. Have a great weekend, Connie. I am not seeing anyone this weekend. There's so much to get done.
Low-key
starting
weekend.
right after this stream.
Low-key weekend.
And tomorrow, there's no this is one of the weekends where I'm not seeing anyone. I got to get a lot done. So yeah, but I sometimes people think I'm prioritizing hanging out with other people. I'm like, the truth is, I haven't really gone out in a while. So, Connie, we have to see you again soon, but thank you. Thank you to everyone who's contributed to Super Chats again. And also, thank you to everyone who's left a like.
Is that you? Have you left a like yet?
Upcoming horror movies you're most excited for? Oh, easily. My answer that I think John's just going to steal from me is Evil Dead Rise and Saw 10.
That's right.
And can't wait for us to watch a certain movie here on the channel that I will not name.
Oh, sure.
But you'll see it.
Yeah.
But John, what about you? I want to see Ari Aster's new movie.
Oh, Beau is Afraid? Sure. Yeah. That's all the spookums that I'm aware about right now. Are there any other? There must be, I'm sure. But yeah, I haven't. The Tommy Wiseau shark movie, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meg 2.
Meg 2, my favorite movie.
We're going to get Megan 2 and then Meg 2.
The same weekend. They can duke it out.
They should give Megan 2 a crazy title. Like Dawn of the Megans or something. Yeah.
Megan Rising. Yeah, what's the number based pun you can do? That's the thing. Megan Unplugged.
Yeah.
But the G's are all 5s.
I do love that movie. I thought Megan was a blast.
Yeah, Megan was really fun. Megan is like the right kind of, not blockbuster budget, but one of
I had
those
more
like
fun
pop.
with.
It's one of those really snappy pop horror movies.
I have way
yeah.
more fun with that than Cocaine Bear.
In a different, it's more madcap certainly in a weird way. It's like throughout, it's just kind of wild.
I think the scenes in between the violence are just like it's fun. I think it's a more fun movie.
Sure, and
It
it's
has
a
a
little
consistency
more.
build to it. Too.
Yeah, it's a little more unified and consistent there. I'm excited to see Patrick Wilson's Insidious movie that he's directing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they're.
I need to get a surgery.
Yes. Is John Wick going to the further now?
I need to go to the further. I need to shoot a ghost.
I hope. Oh my god, I want this movie. I hope that their sequel to The Nun can do that thing that all of their spin-off movies do, where the first one is kind of crappy, and then the second one they get some kind of up-and-comer to make a great version. And then there's their.
I felt bad about that because I really liked the director when we got to meet him. He was so nice.
I know,
He was
Corin.
so nice.
Well, and he's doing stuff like he's out there, hustling and kicking ass. So I'm happy for him because I liked his direction on that movie. But yeah, and then I guess the other one I'm curious about is as much as I am very mixed on David Gordon Green's Halloweens, he's doing an Exorcist. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll see. We'll
But,
see. Hey, Mark Leach, one of our patrons, and
Yeah,
just a good friend.
Shouts out to Mark Leach and to Corin Hardy. Hi, Corin Hardy, who watches this channel.
Severance. Maybe do Severance one of these days.
I don't. Is it worth just not knowing what this setup is?
Probably.
Because I just keep hearing it's amazing.
Does it do well for other people?
I don't know.
Sometimes that helps to tell.
Yeah, sure. That's
Severance.
A great metric.
Episode 1 reaction.
The harmony.
Doesn't do that well for anyone. Because there are some times where it's like, oh, wow, this person's breakdown did amazing, but reaction, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing that great. This is like a huge show. I thought this was like an insanely huge show.
I mean, it's
Or
feels.
is
It
or is
feels
it just
like
the one
that.
that is it just the one where it like the people who watch it
Are very
develop such a
vocal.
passion for it?
I've heard a lot of people reference it in multiple spheres. It's not just people like who are spending time talking about movies and TV all day that I've heard this from. So that gives me some kind of hope that it is truly a standout. But I don't know too. Like, does everybody have Apple TV Plus? I feel like that's like a small
don't.
amount. Yeah, it's
Do-
like I
do
don't
you?
have it. Like
Yeah.
my folks have it, but like they have it to watch Ted Lasso. But I don't have it.
But I hear there's a lot of like great stuff there, but I don't have it.
Yeah, and they just sort of committed to doing theatrical movies too now. So I mean, they're certainly on the rise.
I mean, their work gets a lot of respect.
Yeah.
I've heard even Shrinking is great.
People are going nuts for Shrinking right now. I've heard.
And I had an exact show idea about that.
I know.
Do you remember that idea?
I do.
I called it Henry's Patience.
Yeah.
It was the exact.
Oh, I love that title too.
Yeah, I thought it was a clever title
Yeah.
because he's lost patience with his patience.
Yeah. It's a perfect play on
Yeah,
words.
I thought it was. I
Yeah.
thought, and that was my exact show idea. And then I saw the trailer. I was like, "Aw, but this looks fun."
Sure.
I heard Harrison Ford's great in it. Real 3R1K. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Running around in different live streams to show my appreciation for the hard work you guys do for our enjoyment. Love you, boys.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah. I hope you contributed more to ours than everyone else's, though.
Yes.
That's
the
what counts
rules.
most. That's what counts most.
Yes, we directly rank you all based on that.
Hey guys, are you watching Succession? If so, what are your thoughts on the episode of the new season? I don't even know what Succession is about.
I know what Succession is about.
I've heard like White Lotus is great. I've heard
love
Succession
White
is
Lotus.
great. Yeah, there's a lot of shows that I'm just behind on. We've obviously been doing a lot more movie reactions.
Yeah.
Because, like sometimes it can be bad when you're like, oh crap, we're stuck with The
We
Witcher
have
season
to-
2 and no one's watching these videos.
Yeah, no one likes this anymore. And we just did all this catch up on the first season too. Yeah. Although at least the season 2 hype helped out the season 1 stuff. Yeah.
But it's nicer to catch up on movies, honestly.
I love
Like,
catch up.
the movie reactions have been more of the actual, it's less of a bump. Like you think about it from our end too. Like we did ICU, which is not doing well at all in views. I love our video. I do. I genuinely love our video. Really enjoyed the movie. Nice surprise. Um, but it's easier to be like, oh, this one thing did not do well,
Yeah,
instead of, oh no, we have a 10-week commitment to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which has happened. Yeah.
And so,
certainly.
like, beyond that too, it's just nice to you get more variety with the movies. Like, we're like sometimes we're doing like Disney, DreamWorks animated movies, horror, action. Like, we're doing.
Yeah.
There's more variety, and I like it. Yeah. As far as you can hear about Attack on Titan, man, can't wait for that. Bucky Barnes, thanks for holding down the chat, my friend. Fanta so nasty. Thank you for the super chat. Do you guys think Blue Beetle would, with Brown, one of the big what's this question?
Is it supposed to be will be one of the biggest and newest grossing
Oh,
film?
I thought there was like some weird Mexican joke here.
I was wondering that as well. Yes.
It's like, oh God, do I participate in this?
Do it.
Am I just racist for inserting
Do
that
it.
into my own brain?
Your psychology is bare naked.
By
on
trying
display.
to prevent racism, have I inadvertently become racist?
Yeah, it's over sensitivity racism. There you go.
Do you think Blue Beetle will be one of the biggest and newest grossing films from DC? No.
Yes.
I'm holding out hope for Blue Beetle because there's a lot of interesting things you could do for Blue Beetle. I think that, first off, Latin character, right?
Yeah, Jaime.
Jaime Reyes.
Boy,
I
Jaime.
think that is a great. I imagine the rest of the cast too, well, or at least a good
Nope.
amount of it.
Oh wait, you got one. You got the lead. All right, don't get cocky.
I am not super familiar with Blue Beetle. I'm more like, I've played the Injustice games. I've seen him in other animated mediums as well. Certain comic runs I've read that he's appeared in, but I've never been the one to like, I'm going to read just a dedicated Blue Beetle comic. But I think with his power sets and stuff, that would be fantastic to bring to live action. There's a lot of really fun things too. I think they got the perfect guy to be playing Jaime Reyes as well.
Yeah.
And you can make it fun, and I imagine you can capture that energy from that first Shazam movie.
I know.
And so I feel like it could actually, and the fact that they're doing Booster Gold, who Blue Beetle, Blue and Gold, the fact that they're doing the Booster Gold movie is announced, I think helps give reassurance that this is going to be connected to the James Gunn DC universe and not just be like, start over. I didn't like your one movie. Start again.
This will not be the New Mutants of the DCU.
Yeah. I feel like it'll actually be connected, but I think it'll be a reasonable hit. I don't think it'll be one of the biggest, though. I think it'll be a good hit.
I think, it'll do. I think the first Shazam is probably a solid metric. I think it will succeed, hopefully, on the merits. Them boosting it to theatrical is a good sign that they have a lot of faith in its quality. So I feel like the word of mouth will help. Because I do, like, Shazam has certainly comic book clout and knowledge, but I feel like for a lot of people, we are getting into a point where we are going into the deeper recesses of these catalogs of characters so that your lay person might be like, Blue Beetle, what is this? Sounds like a hodgepodge character, or Shazam. What is a Shazam? So I feel like the strength of the movie will dictate that. And hopefully it will be a solid success that can then be built upon.
True. Thank you for that. Why does Ryan look adorable in the cape? Because Ryan looks adorable without the cape.
You should see him in just the cape.
You should see me naked. It
No
is
cape, no
off-putting.
anything.
It is very off-putting.
Naked. We'll do a naked live stream.
People
at a
be
certain
like,
point.
Greg, you look like you've been gaining muscle. You're like, yeah, I know, right? With the right shirt and everything, Greg looks good.
With my
Greg takes the shirt off.
This
like,
is a long
thought Greg
sleeve
would look
shirt.
better underneath that shirt.
Not living up to my imagination right
the
now.
journey of Greg.
Sure.
Of just like, keep my shirt on. Bucky Barnes, my friend, appreciate you guys. As always, leave a like, Reject Nation. You leave a like, everyone. I don't know why that was like an insult back.
If you leave if we get to 5,000 likes, we'll do the 10,000 naked live stream.
Okay, you know what?
With nothing but G
Real
Fuel.
Steel is one I'm constantly back. I feel like I'm gonna love that. I love Sean Levy, and I feel like he's a very under-recognized director. And so I want to watch it. I do.
I feel like Real Steel will be pretty good.
But I got
not great.
I got a certain boxing movie I got to get done this week.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
when
yeah.
it's just a VOD release, that takes a lot more editing to make sure that shit ain't blocked.
Sure.
I'm not talking like when they're on streaming, much easier
Yeah.
to deal with copyright issues and blocks. But when it's just VOD, I'm like, okay, let the games begin.
Real conservative.
I got to
here.
make sure this doesn't get blocked, and I got to make sure I got the audience watching this for a good amount of time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Let's see here.
Nothing much happens.
I don't watch wrestling.
I would like to. I know so many people who love it, and I love their enthusiasm. And yeah, I would love to take the time.
I want to do a little experiment here because I've noticed that we've had a little bit more lady attention when it comes to, and for people asking, John and Roxy have done Ip Man 2.
Oh yeah, Ip Man 2's coming.
Pairing up John with the women for the big reaction. You're doing Last of Us with Tara. You're gonna do Puss in Boots with Roxy. Yeah.
Sure.
What are some of the horror
Should be
movies?
collaborating with Roxy.
Yeah, I'm like, let's do the experiments. Let's try Jennifer's body out, Roxy.
Gotcha. That is a very fun reaction. I love that reaction.
That's where we go. Let's try trolls.
I
Roxy.
love just listening to you guys try to decipher the Diablo Cody dialogue.
So, okay, even Cocaine Bear has a 13% viewership of female, which is kind of unheard of for us. For
Elizabeth
movie like
Banks,
that.
boy.
What are some other horror movies that we've covered? I'm running an experiment here.
Okay. Try Barbarian
Barbarian.
or Smile.
Okay. I want to see what, because I feel like, weirdly enough, okay, that has see, Barbarian, 19% female.
Okay.
Normally
not
our
bad.
numbers are 90% male is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah,
here.
totally.
So Barbarian, surprise. Okay, let's try a Smile. I don't know any of this, and I like to study analytics to kind of gauge some things. Smile, 20%
Nice. All right.
female.
All
That's
right.
That's crazy.
That's beautiful for us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Here's one. Go back to Midsummer. Midsummer, however you say it. I still don't know what.
I mean, that's kind of old. That's from
But-
2 years ago.
But it's Queen Flo. Like let's check the recent versus the old. Or you could try your next.
23.
23. That's great.
23%.
Your next. That's a female lead.
Okay,
led
your
horror.
next did not perform well.
Okay.
Your next did not perform well, but let's see what the audience is at. 14. Okay, so it seems like when it comes to the horror movies, weirdly attract because normally it's like, oh, if we do like a Disney or an animated movie, we'll attract more of a female audience. But yeah,
26% for the Black Phone.
really,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Apparently, they're like a weird thing.
Chicks dig horror movies.
Because I'm always surprised when the horror movies have like a good CPM. Like, how much does YouTube pay per? It's a weird conversion thing, guys.
How much does YouTube pay per woman watching?
Yeah, but they've always said that. Oh, check Megan.
Megan Recharged. That's good.
I like that as a title.
Sinister is 13.5, but that's a male lead. I feel like there is maybe something to be said for the female leads as well in these movies.
Black Phone's not female.
Oh, that's true though. Yeah, it's Ethan Hawke. And a
Okay,
little boy.
Megan is 38.6%. That's pretty nuts. Because I never would have suspected that.
Yeah.
And there is a weird, we don't really set out to be like, we got to get more of a female. We don't really set out to that. But it is just so funny to see. Even Aisha is commenting on the ICU reaction.
Yeah.
It's just funny to see, oh, who would have thought that? Because YouTube actually, there's this weird thing where they give you a higher CPM generally if it attracts more of a female audience.
Sure.
I don't know why that is, but they do.
I feel like YouTube in general maybe just. I wonder what the average demo of just all YouTube viewers is, and if it is more male skewing, and thus maybe those female views are just worth
it's just
more.
weird, and so it's and then whenever I see comments in our live streams of horror, a lot of the time they're coming from the female audience side. So I just wanted to check really quick, and I was like, oh damn, there's something about the horror movies that tap into that.
Guess what Train to Busan is?
What?
Guess. Just take a guess.
40%.
Close. 37.4.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, Train to Busan.
That is wild to me.
Uh-huh. True that.
Good to know.
I know.
It makes want because we've been wanting to do more. Like I love horror. Everything I
too.
write is generally horror. But anyway, let's get back to
Kingdom
the
reactions, 25%.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the. We are on the 6th season of My Hero Academia, and we are loving the shit out of that show.
Yes, Deku versus Class
I
A
think
just
it,
went
it
up.
might be the best season they've ever done.
Yeah, it's really
I
beautifully.
like the first half. It takes place all in just this one chunk of time, and then the second half is like some of the most intense and the challenges they are posing to the ideologies. I think is genius.
Oh, the
Love it. We
emotional
covered it in our
fallout.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Even though Patreon now is being threatened for anyone who's been doing anime
Anime.
reactions. I'm like, great. This was supposed to be the safe space to do
I
anime
know.
reactions, and now.
And now you guys
Yeah.
are here to take it all away.
Yeah, we got to kind of move a little quick through this because we do have to wrap up. Okay, Mars 8 Productions movie reactions have been awesome. Thank you.
so much.
Appreciate the support via Super Chat too. That means a lot, buddy. Johnny, Ronald McDonald versus Burger King from the commercial.
Let's do this.
Wait, what? Is that actually a commercial?
Is it? Did they get the creepy ass king who I love?
Or is that epic rap battles?
I mean, it's definitely epic rap battles, but
Epic rap battles should just get Chat GBT now to write their rap battles.
I know. Oh my god.
They could.
Sure.
That
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
so funny.
Just take all the dialogue from any given character, feed it into the machine, and yeah, write me a Rick Grimes rap. Okay, cool. Now write me this guy's rap. We should see if Chat GPT can write a real Rejects reaction video.
Yeah.
See what that would look like.
I miss epic rap battles, man. I love those.
Yeah. Why did they stop? Did they stop making it?
They just make them once in a while.
Okay. It's just not.
I
the-
mean, the shit they make is really hard to put together.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you gotta
like
come up with
I
a whole
understand
ass-
why they do like 5 to 6 videos a year. They're really hard to put together.
Yeah, totally.
Um,
Want my content ad nauseum.
Real 3 R1K. Now I have. Oh, thank you. You're the best, man.
You're the best. Man. Around.
Let's see here. You've never seen IMAX before? You're doing yourself a disservice. Go watch it on IMAX. Go
Yeah.
watch. I think watch Oppenheimer on IMAX.
Definitely.
Treat yourself properly with the right IMAX so you get the hype. Like movies that are shot with an IMAX camera.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Damn, I'm missing it, John. Are we
What are you
caught
looking
up?
for?
Are we caught up?
Let
Let me confirm if we are caught up.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Because yeah, we should end the stream relatively soon. And I mean like sooner rather than later.
Still got stuff to shoot today.
I'm a female viewer. The Hannibal TV series is horror. I've seen all the Hannibal TV series.
I've seen none of the Hannibal TV series.
Is so good. It's great.
People love it.
Oh yeah, I think we're caught up.
Oh my goodness.
We're caught up. Yes, thank you guys.
Appreciate you guys always leave that like.
I do want to watch Battle Royale.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. I would love to see Battle Royale.
I was thinking. Have you? I was thinking about pairing off you and Roxy for this, or you and Tara. Have you seen Old Boy?
No.
Do you know what happens in Old Boy?
Not really. I've heard vague. It's been a while since I've heard any description of Old Boy. I've heard vague things about it. I just know that it's really messed up.
But you don't
and there's,
know.
like a
You don't know plot.
take thing.
You don't know the plot points, or you don't know like the twists or anything like that.
There's like a guy in a box.
Oh, that's not the twist.
That's
Okay,
that's about all I know.
alright.
That's about all I know.
Okay, because I'm a little hesitant because the content around it is like
Messed up.
yeah, and then there'll be a lot of disclaimers for YouTube ahead of time to be like
Sure.
this is all fictional.
Yeah, the ad suitability ratings will be very
Yeah.
very on the edge.
But I know for sure that last half hour would generate the best thumbnail face, needless to say. Like, yeah,
I can only
I think that would
imagine.
be I think that so either you and Tara or you and Roxy, I think for that one.
Yeah, I'd be thrilled to. Let's get all two of them in here.
Yeah. Or just her and Coy, so that way they don't shut up.
Yeah, with the subtitled movie, that's gonna go even better.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Those guys.
You just gotta get them a really talky movie. The thing isn't that
That's
talky
so
of a movie.
funny. I had to have a talk with them. about the thing afterwards. To give you guys an idea, like what I was saying earlier, that if we outsource to it. Yes, hi, how are you? Oh, I hope you tagged that photo. I love meeting your
Oh.
son at the con as well. And what you said to me at the con was insanely touching. I will not repeat it because that's a private moment. But what you said was one of the most. I've never gotten a compliment in person that has truly inspired me to stay true to myself and to keep doing what I do here. So that was I've never been told anything like that in person, and I could tell it was coming from a very real, genuine place. So thank you for being there, and I'm so happy I got to meet your son, both of you. But yeah, I remember. I definitely I'll never forget that conversation. I do. I was getting annoyed when people were like, "We got to move you guys outside," because I was like, "What this person's telling me right now is
This is a real life
one of the
moment
most
happening.
like craziest things I've ever been told personally." So, yeah, yeah, I'll never forget that. So thank you. I think we're gonna react to the new Evil Dead.
Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, those
it's
are
gonna
reactions.
be so hard to edit. I just know that movie's gonna be so hard to edit.
It's going to be a very blurry reaction.
Yeah,
It's gonna be very-
so hard to edit, man.
Yeah.
I wish YouTube just didn't suppress it when
when you get age restricted.
Yeah, I just wish they didn't suppress the video.
Like the disclaimer is there. Like, let it do its thing.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, The Call. What is that? No, I love Korean horror movies. I like.
Korea goes hard.
Yeah. I really, and sometimes when we're doing that shit, like All of Us Are Dead, like I really love that shit, man.
Yeah.
That shit's fun.
Oh, all these. I wonder if all these like Squid Game, All of Us Are Dead. If all these, season 2s are gonna live up.
I mean, I really want to see Battle Royale.
yeah.
That's like a movie I really want to watch.
Hearing about that movie throughout my life.
Yeah.
And so many things get compared to Battle Royale.
Yeah, I really want to watch that. But what were we saying before?
We were talking about meeting at WonderCon.
Oh, The Thing.
And then the Thing and Koi and Roxy.
So normally, if like I'm not in the video, if the prepper people aren't editing the video, odds are I'm the one editing the video. Now that being said, if I'm not in the video at all, and it's like if John's doing a video and I'm not in it, like any like a movie or a show, and he hands that usually prepper does the edit and John handles the notes for the re-edit on that one. And for The Thing, I paired up Koi and Roxy, and I've already talked to both of them about this. Roxy took it like a champ. She just like she immediately understood it. Koi, like I really had to explain it to him. It was funny. It was funny.
My.
It's something I just laugh about. I just laugh about it. So normally,
And they've both brought that back and laughed to me about it. So that's good. I'm glad they were both receptive.
if I'm not in it and I'm doing a review, I have to like sync up the footage because I wasn't in the room when they're shooting the reaction. And it'll normally take me like roughly like an hour to work on a re-edit notes, for if I'm not in it. And I had to tell both of them. It wasn't a joke. I was 2 hours in to the re-edit of the notes, and I'm like, I'm only at the 12-minute mark.
I remember you told me this.
And sometimes it is like, all right, I gotta talk to the editors about this. But then when I saw the raw footage and I showed John too, we were like,
Yeah,
you just stop talking.
You mentioned it to me, and then I was like, I gotta go look at this. And then I saw it, and I was like, oh yeah, if I'm sitting here going like, whoa, guys, pay attention to the film, something's wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a very funny situation.
And it took me over 4 hours to just work on re-edit notes for that. To the point where sometimes I was like, look, I'm just going to edit this part and just insert this in here. Reclaim,
I remember that. And yeah, going back to the others, you're like, here's stuff for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Try
I
this
was
out.
like, I need you to trim the first 20 minutes. I need to see if this is flowing now.
Yeah, here's a bunch of in-depth reworking to do. And then if this works, we'll do the whole shebang.
Yeah.
It was a very, very funny situation.
But no,
also
I mean,
very taxing.
But when it was done, though, I was like, okay, this turned out good. But I'm like, no No, I should never be in a position ever again where this takes me 4
finessing
hours
to get
do.
there. Yeah.
No, I just laugh about it with them. It was like, I can't believe this is happening.
They've been good sports. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been they know they're Bostonians. They know how to take it.
They-
They know how to be like, maybe don't talk the whole time, guys.
Yeah, sure.
Because you gotta understand, like when we're doing these reactions, something people might not know is like one of us is taking the lead in a video.
Yeah.
And so they kind of can follow the energy, or like one of us can make the call to be like, okay, I'm gonna not engage in the riffing back and forth as much right now. Where they
It's just only yeses
was
and.
like-
Yeah, only yes and.
imagine starting a yes and right before the credits start rolling.
Like you have the best instinct for that, and over time, especially now being in this seat for more videos, I'm like, okay, yeah. Don't just make this a riff fest because it's about being engaged with the thing that
and
you're watching.
they were though in their own way.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
credit them,
yeah.
they were like
No,
they
totally.
were engaged, and like when they were done shooting the reaction and they came out to the living room, they were like, "We loved that. That movie was awesome." Like,
Yeah.
And so I thought, all right, sweet,
This is
cool, perfect,
be a
gold
dunk.
mine, let's go. And I was
Yeah,
like,
totally.
they were engaged in the way these two are engaged.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God. Louis Berry.
Hannibal is a goat show. Mads deserved an Emmy nom, absolutely, and I wish they would resurrect it. And thank you for the super chat.
It's always possible.
I don't even know what the On My Block series is.
Oh.
Make sure to have 2 people for a blind watch along. Yes. Pernitsky B bringing the comment back. Half Trump, half Batman. Make America vigilante again. I mean, Coy and I realized on this live stream that we did before that I think Evil Dead Rise should be I mean, like, as much as it would be fun to do a reaction to a review, like watch it in the theaters. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it looks like it would be a great theater experience.
Especially with a crowd.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, you kind of show up to that movie for like this jump scares and the gore and I'm like,
and the wild craziness.
yeah. So
It's the mean spirits.
yeah, I'm sure it'd be better in the theaters than at home. But I'm like, I think it would also be a great reaction. Where honestly, with John Wick, I'm sure would have been a great reaction.
Yeah.
I feel like 2 and 3 would be great. I'll even throw 1 into the mix, like 1. But John Wick 4 has these scenes of just dialogue and no action that I'm so immersed in that I'm like, I would, because you have to understand, we can only show up to 8 seconds of footage of time.
Yeah.
8 consecutive seconds at a time.
You can't get all the mood that's
So,
there.
so we need to sometimes be conscientious enough to like express a thought out loud. Express something out loud.
There was something to cut to.
Express something. Sometimes we got to be a little conscientious of that and like express it, And sometimes it's hard with movies like The Whale or Schindler's List, where I'm not exactly going to be like making a bunch of commentary.
Yes. Jokes especially.
But John Wick, I love just being quiet and absorbing those moments. And I would have my preferential viewing. Well, I haven't seen it twice. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I saw this in the theaters. But Evil Dead, I'm like, nah, man, it looks like it'd be a blast to share with the audience. Like that would be the one to share with the audience. Because even the action in John Wick, most of it, I'm so engrossed in the story that I'm not even like super reactive.
Yeah, totally.
Because I'm just like so engaged.
Yeah, 100%. And Evil Dead is like, as much as I love Evil Dead movies and the theatrical experience, that easily is like, no, that would be like such a fun reaction.
True.
Even still, I feel like I would still have just as much joy in the experience.
Pernitsky B, so what Coin I discovered on our last live stream was that Batman is a liberal, is a Democrat, a liberal, and then Bruce Wayne is a Republican.
You would have to be. I mean, sure. Yeah, because to have the financial empire that Bruce Wayne does, and also to keep the facade alive, he would have to be a conservative member of the city, at least somewhat, maybe a moderate conservative. But yes, yeah. Direct. I want to.
But he is though. That is the like. If you think about it, he is like a total liberal.
Sure.
As Batman.
Yeah.
But like I'm talking like hippie liberal to an extent.
Yeah, a Marxist even.
Yeah, like I hate the system.
Yeah, I'm taking back the means of production.
Going against the man.
Yeah. I'm gonna make my own operation and I'm gonna protect people.
But Wayne Enterprises, billionaire corporate.
Yes. What are the layoffs like at Wayne Enterprises?
Richest mofo in the most corrupt city.
Yes. Yes, that's why he
They're
created
crazy.
the bat.
Like I've never even thought about that until that time we did the stream.
I want a comic book that explores that. That's what would be yeah, he's why he created the bat, is so he could express those views.
Yeah.
Also, Aisha said I Saw the Devil is one of her favorite Korean horror films. I've heard so much
I
about
want to
that.
see that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And to whoever asked, I have seen Everything Everywhere. I saw it opening night.
You were the first person who told me about the movie.
Yeah,
I never even knew what it was. I didn't even see the trailer for the movie before I watched it.
I didn't either. I just heard that the Swiss Army Man guys were doing it, and it was Michelle Yeoh and the word multiverse, and I was just like, I'm there. Whatever it is, I'm there. And
I mean, people talk about crying, Greg, and I'm like, guys, to this day, no movie has broke me like that movie. I was just crying throughout.
And every time I've seen it, it's just there's a point where it just starts and it just doesn't stop. Throw the Daniels in there. They're my favorite. Some of my favorite directors working right now. 100%.
I can, if I need to like fight back or hold back tears, I can usually do enough. I was whimpering.
Sure.
Straight up just whimpering throughout that movie.
Yeah.
So I was to the point where I was working on notes because I didn't edit it. I was just only working on the re-edit. When I was working on the re-edit, I was a little embarrassed when I was just hear me fucking right into the mic.
That's a very intimate way to look in on yourself.
Yeah.
That was a great reaction too, though. And Maid
and
Smith,
it's suppressed by YouTube because it's got an age restriction.
After all those extra blurs and stuff that we went later to put. Maid Smith, Dante. There's Kingdom reactions on the channel. Go check them out.
Go check it out.
If you love Kingdom, watch it.
I don't know what the best comedy ever made is. My favorite one is Anchorman. I do love Anchorman. I think it's genius.
Anchorman is hilarious.
All right, we got to wrap this up. We're going to do it right now. Lewis Berry, thank you so much for helping us end our Super Chats experience. Hugh deserved an Emmy as well. Hope for season 4.
Hugh Dancy.
Haven't seen it.
No. It's Hannibal.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Hugh Dancy is the guy.
He's doing Friday. And then, Will plays that. But the guy who did Hannibal is doing Friday the 13th. I'm very excited about that.
Oh, yeah, the Crystal Lake show.
Bucky Barnes, but it will have Jason. Bucky
awesome.
Barnes, thank you for holding it down for a while. Have fun at WrestleMania. Taking your son there. That's awesome.
Yeah, enjoy.
Haven't seen Tulsa King. No, I haven't seen any of those shows. I mean, Yellowstone, I'm sure people have asked us to react to, but I want to watch that with the missus. Louis Berry, season 2 of Hannibal. Season 2 finale of Hannibal. Season 2 is a greatest of all time episode. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of season 3. It got a little too artsy fartsy for me.
Okay.
And everyone started talking like not people to me. I'm not the biggest fan of season 3. I like the show's super artistic, but once everyone starts sounding the same and talking the same, and it just becomes about communicating themes, and they stop sounding like real people. Now I'm like, now you've become pretentious. You were like perfectly artsy for me, perfectly artsy and perfectly violent and thrilling, but now you're just kind of bogged down with some other shit.
So if a season 4 ever happens, it'll be all gore then.
Hopefully,
let's go in the other direction.
Just saw an April Fool's article. Thank you, Pub and Meyer, for contributing here, buddy. Saying Harry Styles cast as Superman Legacy. To be honest, I don't hate the choice. Thoughts? Harry Styles, no, I mean he's already going to be that other guy, Star Fox pervert. So he's going to be
already.
He's already going to be that guy. I feel like Harry Styles also would be distracting, and I think Harry Styles. I think he's a charismatic actor, and while I really enjoyed him in Dunkirk, and then there's a good amount in
what's the ratio? Don't worry, darling.
And Don't Worry, Darling, but that's the movie. Don't Worry, Darling. But I do think Harry Styles. I'm not saying he's incapable. I love watching actors grow. I love watching actors get better, and I can totally see Harry Styles becoming like an amazing actor. There's not a slight against him, but there are moments in Don't Worry, Darling where it's like, yeah, he's trying to do like a cry scene, and I could tell you're forced. It's not work.
That was a movie where I'm like, I think you should have taken some smaller roles, work up your craft, and then do a movie like this. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like he's bad throughout or something like that. But I do do think he's got a little like I think he'd probably be great in comedies, Harry Styles.
Sure.
I feel like he'd probably kill it. The way how Channing Tatum was not the greatest dramatic actor, and then he started doing comedies, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's like fucking amazing.
Yeah, he's really charismatic and fun, and then that helped his dramatic acting get better.
Yeah. There can be a thing where it like kind of recycles back into your dramatic work, and I think Harry, like before James Franco became what he is now. Like when James Franco started doing comedies like Pineapple Express. Pineapple Express was the first time I saw him in something that I was like, wow, I'm really lost in the role he's doing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Don't worry, darling. 44.6% female viewership.
Really?
Yeah.
What's this? Let me see. When did it come out?
This was November 7th, 2022.
Oh, okay, it might not be a good metric. What was the Let me see the CPM side of it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Thank you, ladies, for watching our videos.
Ladies of the Reject Nation.
Love everything with Red Dragon and Hannibal, Louis Berry. Yeah. Third season becomes like the Red Dragon adaptation.
Oh, good. The best of the movies.
Better than Hannibal, I think.
Okay.
Is it? I don't know.
Better than Hannibal Rising.
Okay, but Pattinson though, I'm talking not. Pattinson proved he is a fantastic dramatic actor though before the Batman came out.
Yeah, and anybody who had seen those movies was like, no, he can.
And I'm going off of Harry Styles' latest film.
Yeah, I haven't seen the police officer
I think he needs a while to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, just his profile is such that it would eclipse the character. I think it would clash with the character. Yeah. He's not an everyman in the same way.
I do wish that we had like some event TV go. I mean, we have Mandalorian right now, but there is something about like Wednesday was like, oh, this is fucking. There's something special here.
The water cooler show that the Globe is talking
like
about.
a new thing.
Yeah,
like Mandalorian's returning.
A fresh surprise.
Yeah. But when you got something that just comes out and takes it by storm, I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah, no, there's like that fun sort of like.
Thank you for being here, Jennifer. All right, guys, we have to head out ourselves.
Okay.
Really do appreciate everyone who's here. Please, if you haven't done so, please leave a like. No, I mean, the live streams, they honestly, like, there is a weird thing about the live streams where it makes it more fun again to do it feels like a great refresher to even go back and do the regular videos, like getting involved in the conversation. So I really do love doing these live streams a lot. For just like there's a personal selfish benefit that I get in an emotional way and mental clarity way. And so I appreciate y'all being here. And thank you to all who contributed to our super chats. Thank you all who contributed to the Streamlabs as well. Thank you guys so much. But keep a lookout. There's a lot coming out this week. Secret Invasion, Blue Beetle,
Spider-Verse.
I'm hearing about this Hypocrisy trailer. Creed 3 I'm going to be doing with Andrew. You saw it in theaters, right?
Yeah, I saw the IMAX.
Yeah. Don't tell me about the IMAX. I don't want to.
It actually was
bad.
It just didn't. It was one of the movies
Did
I
it do
saw
anything
where it
for
was
you?
still good. It just I wasn't like, oh, this is clearly being elevated by IMAX.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I was like, I could have seen this in a normal theater and felt just fine.
All right, that helps.
Yeah, and I'd heard so much about people being like, no, in IMAX, and I was like, yeah, I mean, there's some good shots. There, like,
Sure.
it looks good, but yeah, it didn't to me beg the IMAX experience.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think now too to cover a Jonathan Majors movie is the perfect
It's
time.
the right time.
SEO.
Yeah. They just put every one of our little news videos at the end.
And also, Sally LaMonaco was visiting town, and we shot Pitch Perfect. I'm telling you guys right now, I love the shit out of Pitch Perfect.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
I was so happy. Like,
oh, yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I genuinely loved the hell out of it.
Fun.
And I did not know it was even about a cappella.
Oh, cool.
That's how little I knew about. I mean, I covered the Streamlab, didn't I? Did I cover the latest Streamlab? Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one.
There's only one.
You only got the one? Unless you just snuck it in right there. Oh,
No, yeah.
there you go.
Up.
Right at the end.
Thank you so much.
Aw.
No, Chanel just wanted to try it out. Thank you so much.
Successful trial.
Thank you.
You've done
Yeah.
Thank you for making sure the bell works.
Yeah.
I appreciate you very much.
No, Pitch Perfect was a blind reaction. Haven't seen. Thank you, Jordan Garza. Thank you so much.
Hey, don't
Thank
worry.
you.
You're here
And
at all.
John and
We got
Roxy
Ip Man
shot
2.
Ip Man 2. So we got a couple things
It's in the
that
pipe.
are edited. Just gotta make thumbnails and prep the metadata and all that stuff, which takes a while. But then and then we got Mandalorian. So it's gonna be a busy week. And also I got family visiting, so I gotta also
You
have
got
some
to
downtime.
find some time for
I also
life.
gotta find time for family.
life events.
I got family visiting. I want to make sure I spend plenty of time with them. But thank you all for being here once again.
We
no
love you.
Chanel, thank you so much. Wait, no Chanel and Jordan Garza, two different people? What the hell? Because I thought, why did I forget about the stream? Oh, he said, why did I forget about the stream today, guys?
That was fortuitous.
I
Well done.
did we both read it the same?
I think maybe.
Did we both read it as Streamlabs?
Yeah. No, why did I forget about the stream today?
And
Hey,
then no
guys.
Chanel's contributed to the Streamlabs saying, just wanted to try it out. It's hilarious.
What
Oh,
timing.
thank you so much, no Chanel.
Well, thank you both.
Thank you.
And hey, Jordan, you made it in it all. As long as you leave a like, you are perfect.
Yes. Alrighty, guys. Thanks again. This is another fun stream. We want to do them regularly, and then hopefully we got Koi around for the next one. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'll chat with you all soon.
Much love.
Peace and love, guys. Thank you.
Ending the stream.